want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, start offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's stuff.
Hi, Matthew. It's Judge Janine, and I wanted to congratulate you on the Don't Unfriend Me show at the Dumb Show. I was thinking about that whole thing the other day when I thought it was right after Donald Trump was elected that everybody on the left started unfriending anyone on the right. So I'm glad you're calling them out. You've got a great name for the show. And I hope that you're true to the values, conservative values, Republican values, and that you call those people out. I think it's great. And I know you've got 135,000 followers. I hope you get a lot more. And just keep the faith. Keep fighting. I think we may get America back. But in the meantime, we've got a steep hill to climb. And you're one of the
I got to go ahead and get the judge to update that son of a gun. I mean, yeah. We're 20, I don't know, 2,000, 23,000, something like that over. Good evening, everybody. This is going to be a barn burner tonight. I've got a feeling. Amy, it's wonderful to see you wearing your Red Friday shirt. I'm wearing my 22 a day shirt, and Leroy doesn't care about veterans.
You've got red.
It's not it's not like St. Patrick's Day. You've got to wear a Red Friday shirt, and the Spartan 2.0 doesn't qualify.
I wore red dress.
I'm wearing a red thong for you, Matt.
Just saying.
Oh, well, that's fine. Red thong. Amy, are you wearing a red thong too?
No, I wore red dress today though. So.
Lady in red.
Right. It was more like burgundy red, but still, I was like, it's like the color of
dancing with me. Did it have a stain on it?
No,
that's blue.
Did you borrow? Oh, it wasn't blue. You didn't borrow it from Monica Lewinsky.
I did not.
Did you guys see the Epstein? We can look this up, but look up Epstein Bill Clinton painting. Look that up real quick and throw it to me. You guys haven't seen this shit? They found it was a secret painting. You've seen those shows. Like, you guys remember the movie The Toy with Richard Pryor?
Yeah.
And
great
right.
movie.
And you know, he's got the girl, oof. You know, the girl who's like, she's got huge boobs. She's like, I'm a dabba 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 da. And Jackie Gleason is just like, oh, when his heart goes, you know. So he has this little thing, a button where his cigar lighter is, and there's a painting of his wife, and then it goes down, and it literally, she's all like buxomed out and buxom beauty. This is the painting. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. And this was in Epstein's house. This isn't a joke.
Nice.
This isn't a joke.
Oh, is that a joke?
This is for real. This was actually an Epstein. This is not, right now, I am not, here, look at my face. I am not kidding. This was in Epstein's house, and it was a secret painting in a secret room. And when they went ahead and confiscated and did the investigation and everything else, there was a picture of Bill Clinton.
Is there something we need to know about Bill Clinton?
He's
wearing Monica Lewinsky. He's wearing Monica Lewinsky's dress, guys. That's the dress.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he's wearing a dress.
Dude, the guy was on his plane like 37 times. He was diddling kids. I mean, allegedly. Yeah. Come on. It's not like it's that hard to figure out.
I'm sure.
This is a true story. This isn't a lie. It's 100% true. Nice to see everybody on the show tonight. This is the Don't Unfriend Me show. My name is Matthew Spear. I'm the host of Don't Unfriend Me. And I just got done with a wicked run, and I'm pounding my shake. And of course, it's Air Bubble City, so I'm gonna have hiccups the whole time. Olivia is our weather girl. She's pushing the button right now. Welcome to Olivia. Olivia, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone.
She's the voice, but she's the guy behind the guy behind the guy. She is the woman who makes the man what he is. And this is Olivia.
Yep.
To my right as you see me, is Amy. Hello.
Hi guys. Yeah, I feel so bad I haven't been here, but it's so good to be here. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's been a really tough week. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm like in a terrible mood. I would like to give a shout out to someone special, as I often do, and I'd like to say hello to my stalker, who is very much in full effect.
Hey, douchebag.
Yes, they are. This person is a douchebag.
I'm just waiting for listen, man. I just want to let you know, I'm just waiting for the fucking green light from Amy.
I know.
I'm just
I
waiting.
talked to Penn today. He was with me today. He wasn't with me today, but
yeah, I get it. Go ahead.
So, yeah.
And how did that go?
Today. It was just, I don't even know how it went today. I just wanted to give a shout out to my stalker because I know they're very much obsessed with me. And I will say, I'm not afraid of you, but they're starting to cross some boundaries, like really starting to cross some severe boundaries. So we're about to we're about to go after them for the boundaries that they're crossing. It's
good. I haven't spoken to you about this. I really don't even know, but my own investigative qualities that I have, I've heard this guy is a complete trust fund bitch, just a complete trust fund bitch, and honestly takes it up the ass from behind. That's what I've heard. Only when he makes her wear a strap on. That's my understanding. I've got some juicy stuff. So, sir, anytime you think you're man enough, let me know. Bring your fucking lunch, and you want to go ahead and face somebody who can actually fight back. You let me know when you're ready. So, just waiting for you. We'd love to have you on the show. Love to have you on the show.
That. Oh my gosh, I would love that.
So, nothing like a man that picks on a woman, from what I've heard. But I haven't heard that from anybody here. That's my own research, right? Because I'm really good at what I do. Special kind of man that touches a woman. So whenever you think I would love to touch you right back, sir. In fact, I've got a strap on of my own, and I would love to show you its girth and length whenever you're ready. So it's roughly a size 12 and has a steel toe tip. You'll love it. Leroy, a bunch of innuendos. What are we're talking hypothetical here. I don't know who this is. What are we talking about? See, unless you say somebody's name, you can say whatever you want. Like you take it up the ass and you're a sperm burp and gutter slut and you've been a bitch your whole fucking life and you hit women and you're a douchebag. But without your name, it's not slander.
It's meaningless at that point, right?
Unless you're going to admit that you're a stalker. And then if you do that, then you're going to probably go to jail because we've got that on record. So why don't you call into the show? 571-329-7576. Pussy ass bitch. Pick up the phone and call into the show.
Does said stalker watch the show every day?
Every day.
Nice.
Yeah. And for those people who are like, I can't believe Matt's talking like this. I've got some stories you can't believe that I found through my own investigative skill set. Nobody told me anything. I just have the ability to see things and research to find this out. Up to my other side is who?
This is Leroy Jenkins. And hi,
Jenkins.
Hi, folks. I'm here as just kind of a friendly backup.
We've got to get her holy cannoli.
Yes, we do.
Can we? You know what? I'm going to send that sound to you, and I'll make sure we take care of that. I apologize, Amy.
I don't have any stalkers, unlike Matt or Amy, but I am willing to try.
I am willing to learn.
I'm willing to share mine with you.
I've got a stalker that you guys. Does anyone want to see what I have a new stalker today?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really exciting. It is, and I'm waiting for. Dude, I've received like 47. Your Facebook account has been canceled, and you need to log into this account in order to restore it. And it's a scam, right? I mean, and I've got software that actually. I get software that actually checks it and will let me know if it's real or not because it pings back to Facebook. And by the way, to let you know, two things happened with Facebook today, and then I've got to show you my stalker. We are officially 100% green on Facebook for the first time, I think since 1962. Whoa. We are being recommended at full clip from Facebook. And the page has 0 violations. In fact, I was like, well, this sounds like a bunch of bullshinto to me. And then literally 30 minutes later, I get an email and I now have a Meta representative, someone who I can call, look at my ad sets with. If I have any problems, I can let them know. If I'm having any struggles with the site or something's not working. So we have officially become reputable. And I've noticed that they pretty much don't really care what I say. anymore. So I'm going to test that theory because we're going to test that theory tonight because I'm honest with y'all. I can't. There's some things I can't be quiet about, and it's going to be on both sides of the aisle tonight. I want to get everyone's opinion, and I think there's times where I tend to go off, and I know that that's what the show's about. And I understand people are here to see me, but they're also here to see you three. And I've got to do a better job of including you into the show, but it's hard sometimes. So tonight, if I make that mistake,
that's what she said.
That's what I said. That's what I said. So here's the deal. Somebody said they were talking about gun control with me tonight, and they're like, "Oh, well, don't accidentally shoot your children."
Holy cannoli.
And I'm like, so immediately I find this guy, right? And I find out who he is. I find out he's a used car salesman. He's had 7 jobs in 4 years. I have his home address. I have his mom and dad's phone number. Actually, mom passed away, but I have his stepmother, who his father remarried. I've got his kids. I know he's divorced. I know he had an inappropriate relationship with a young girl. I know he has an indecent exposure rap against him and a few other. I mean, I had this guy locked down. So I say his name and I'm like, "Hey man, hey blankety blank from blah 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 who works here and lives at this address. I just wanted to let you know I've looked into your past, and if you continue to go ahead and say things and threaten harm against my children, I'm going to make a call to the police when I get my restraining order put against you, and then I'm going to start talking about the things that you've done in your life which you don't want anyone to know about."
What did he say?
He said that we were talking about gun control and everything else, and I was
that's right.
I was just destroying him. I mean, it wasn't even funny. I mean, it was embarrassing. I mean, I don't know how he kept going. And like, I here quickly. I mean, I'm just so, and it's not to be like, "Oh, guys, listen how cool I am." But it's like, dude, when you're losing this bad, it's kind of like, dude, why are you continuing to do this? You know, right. I mean, because it was brutal. Here's what happened. Here, I'll send this real quick to my computer.
I love the 2A debate.
Oh, me too. It's so easy now. I remember when it used to be somewhat difficult for it. Not anymore.
No,
it's just not. It's like I know it backwards. I know the stats.
Yes.
So here it is.
It's a slam dunk now.
It is. It's an easy thing. So this is the second one. All right. So all I do is this is on my Second Amendment video that I did. Oh damn it! I'll just give you the high level. He was just like the founding fathers didn't want automatic machine guns, and I'm like, well. And he's like, they didn't even say AR-15s. I'm like, well, first of all, in 1791, there weren't any AR-15s. In fact, there weren't even black powder cartridges. Yet they were designed, but they weren't feasible at that point. Right. Crimping and the right amount of brass and all of this wasn't even designed yet. A lot of these modern day tools like the compress and everything else wasn't even invented yet. The primer cap hadn't even been invented yet. So even though a lot of this stuff was drawn out and drafted, it hadn't reached its time yet, but the Puggle gun had, and they just couldn't figure out how to make these cartridges smaller in order to make this necessarily work in a handgun or revolver, but the technology was there. That's why they used the word arms. They didn't say rifles or muskets or black powder.
Generic.
And they wanted
knew
it
there
to
were going to be technological advances. They just knew it.
Right, and they knew this because there was already technological advances in the printing press. So if you're going to sit here and say, well, the AR-15, well, either was Facebook, either was a phone, either was a recorder, either was the printing press was further away than or was closer than it was further away. So to sit here and say, well, wait a second, the First Amendment, so you can't use that analogy. They wanted equivalent power to the government, period. That's what it specifically states. If you actually separate the militia, which you should, because what they were saying is to a free state, militia is necessary. However, even though that's not the vernacular, right, there's a big but there. And ultimately the comma in the period, we've already put this to bed. So I hit him on that. And then he's like, oh, well, you know what? The AR-15 is the number one gun used in mass shootings. I said, actually, no, it's not. 80% of homicides are handguns. Right. And honestly, more than that is knives.
Yes.
That's the type of person that will absolutely, that will absolutely admit that the government and the military have advanced their technology, but they just can't wrap their minds around the fact that, technology changes, but your rights don't. And people don't get that.
Right. Well,
Right.
can you imagine? We're just going to throw all this away if everything gets complicated, right? If it just becomes too difficult for us to figure out, we're just going to go ahead and eliminate your rights. That's what the 10th Amendment is for. What we can't figure out is reserved to the state.
Right.
That's why federal law, unless it is a 3/4 majority to a 2/3 majority, 3/4 to repeal, 2/3 to propose new amendments, it's not getting pushed through. That's why Roe v. Wade won't be codified, because there's too many states that won't endorse it. That's why the Second Amendment and constitutional carry more than likely will never be federal, because you can't get the 2/3 vote to go ahead and ratify the Constitution, or amend the Constitution. So and that's what the founding fathers wanted. They wanted it to reserve to the state. That's what the 10th Amendment's for. And it says, if you can't figure it out and it's too hard, the federal government it should never make the decision for the states. The states, they have the right to make the final decision. And that's the beauty of the Constitution of the United States. It goes back to the people, because the state is the people, folks. Mm-hmm. That's what you don't understand. It's not the president of the United States is not a president of the people. It's the president of all 50 states. And the governor is the president of the state. That's really what it comes down to. And the president's job is to actually communicate with the governorships, communicate with the states, and make sure that federal aid and federal assistance is available, from border protection to funding to declarations of emergency, whatever it is. That's what the federal government's job is. But people think that the federal government's job is just to make wanton law. No, the Republicans were right with Roe v. Wade. Whether you like it or not, they did exactly what the founding fathers wanted.
Absolutely.
The real criminals to this was way back in 1970, when it was done by predominantly white men who decided in the middle of the night to slap it onto the 14th Amendment under privacy. Murder isn't private. If it was, well, I guess it is for Hillary Clinton, but everyone else gets to be held accountable. All right.
That's some weird shit.
Well, yeah.
That's some weird shit. See, right when you say Hillary, you got to have it ready to go.
Well, that was some weird shit.
Thank you, Olivia. All right.
I've been meaning to tell you. I think you need to get the Wilhelm scream on that panel. I just think you need
what?
to. I don't know why.
What?
The Wilhelm scream. You know what it is.
What is that?
No, I don't.
No, what is
The
it?
Wilhelm scream? Oh, it's
You can say it 3 more times, and I'm not going to know it any better.
You're just like
literally-
You're just like somebody with
Something that-
Spanish. Yelling at me
something-
louder isn't going to make me understand Spanish.
Can you
Something
tell us
that
what it
all
is?
sound engineers in movies, what they do is they incorporate that scream literally into almost every movie, and it's like
Okay,
a
so
trivia thing to see who can spot it. And it's
I see.
famous. If you heard it, you'd know it.
Oh, I'm sure I would.
Can
There's a lot of screaming
Just an
coming from
example?
our bedroom. I'm sure we've replicated it.
Can you replicate it right now, please, Leroy?
No, I can't.
Yeah, give us the scream, Leroy.
Yeah,
No.
come on, Leroy.
Sorry.
Come on.
Nope.
Do it.
All right, let's get to this.
It's
We've got
too
listeners.
easily
We've got
Googleable.
people. We've already got 101 on. We need to get busy. People are like, "What the hell are you guys doing?" Let's get to the show. All right. So, needless to say, we had an idiot on today.
That was
There it
it.
is.
That's the
Okay.
Wilhelm scream. Okay. Well, now we know what the Wilhelm scream is. Okay. I think he just made that up. All
Nope,
right.
it's on here. It's even got a Wikipedia
I
page.
was just teasing, folks. I was just teasing. Let's everyone calm down. All right. So the last few nights, this is going to be, has everyone been paying attention to the news? I really hope everyone's been paying attention.
I think
sorry,
so. Yeah,
All right.
I think so.
So I want to talk about something sensitive. I want to talk about what happened in the room.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, I want people to understand being a parent's hard.
Yes.
It's incredibly difficult, right? There's no manual. So now we know some people want to just murder babies, but some of us actually want to raise them, right? So it's easy for people to say, oh, well, you should just do that. Just lock up your guns and, they'll never find them. Well, that's not necessarily true. When our kids can figure out our Wi-Fi password, which is somewhere between chaos theory and Carl Sagan's, algorithm, they can figure shit out. But more importantly, is that you have free thinkers, and that's what we should create. We don't like to create brainless automatons like the left does. We like to have our children be free thinkers. And although we introduce them to various things, a lot of people think we just introduce them to religion and Christianity, and that's not true. I gave my kids the right to make a decision if they wanted to partake in church, and they said, no, I don't want to. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. You don't have to. But here's a
that's actually a really strong point, because the left teaches their kids what to think, and the right teaches their kids how to think.
How to think.
Two very distinct things.
Exactly.
Well, we're going to talk about this tonight. This is going to be the biggest conversation we've had, because it really, everything's sinewed together. I mean, this is ridiculous. It is sincerely a huge topic, and I hope we can get to it all tonight. That vitamin water, you might as well just drink a bag of sugar. So anyway, 46 grams. So that's more than it's twice as much intake as you're supposed to have in one day, let alone in one sitting. I just wanted to let you know. Mom cares.
Leroy.
I know you love me.
Mom cares. Sugar is poison. So anyway, so here's the thing that I'll say. I never thought, at least I didn't think it was going to happen so quickly. Like I was, this is what happened. First of all, the transgender community makes up about 0.7 to 1.2% of the population of the United States of America. In 15 years, it'll be over 2.5%. The reason why is that this next generation makes up most of the transgender community, because as we know, most people are being presented with it. We're hearing it in school. You constantly are educated on it on YouTube and TikTok, and kids just know. I mean, all the way from 10-year-olds know what cisgender is. They know what, we're hitting Amy in the face there with the advertising.
It's just better.
No, it's not. So we want your stalker to see you. We want them to have a really good picture for all their candle wall and thousands of photographs they have of you. So, pussy. So anyway, so the thing that I just hope, you know what? I'm going to go get that guy. Please.
If you only knew how many pictures I saw of myself today, I was like, darn.
Dude, I would love for you to get really angry and find a spine somewhere. All right. So anyway. So I want to get to this point. So a very small portion of the population, but when we talk about consumers like Bud Light, it comes down to like 0.007% of the transgender community drink a specific beer. What you do is you look at the overall market share of Bud Light versus other beers, and then you go ahead and divide that into the overall population of transgenders. And like 0.007% of Bud Light's custom consumers are transgender. It's such a small, significant number. Nobody even cares. If you lose that much market share, it doesn't curtail into revenue dollars. It's just too small. And that's any company over $1 million. You're either going to lose like $70, or when you're a multi-billion-dollar company, you're going to lose 7 cents for like a quarter of a millisecond, and then it's going to come back. So it doesn't matter. But in our lives, the odds are that you would have to assume that between 1 and 2 people out of 100 are transgender, or at least recognize themselves as another gender than who they are. Now, I'm going to be clear. I support the LGBTQ community. I support the transgender community, human rights, trans rights. And there's no such thing as trans rights. There's no such thing as black rights. There's no such thing as gay rights. It's human rights. And everybody who is human, not a rainbow spotted unicorn, even a rainbow spotted unicorn has human rights. Okay, good. Glad we cleared that up. Caveat. Now, the one thing I do struggle with is the mental side of this. Is I will not. Here it is. Now you got to hear this, because this is really important. When I have to make a decision that's based upon boy or girl, for instance, a kid spending the night at my house, sleeping in my daughter's room, if it is a boy who thinks that they are a girl, the answer is not only no, but fuck no.
Right.
Caveat, exclamation point, not a chance in hell. And that would be for anyone. Nobody is going to sleep in my daughter's room. It's just not going to happen. Now, I think one time we had a boy spend the night, and they were like 3 years old, 4 years old, and it was a bunch of kids, and who cares?
Yep.
But that's different than a 13-year-old girl in a room alone with a boy who thinks he's a girl, or a girl who thinks he's a boy. I don't give a shit. No, the answer is no. Okay? That's number one.
Yep.
However, if you want to go to a movie, great. And I'll call you she, and I'll call you by your name and everything else. So here's what happened. We had a young lady who came over to our house, and I'm not going to mention any names, and just cute as a button, right? Hair right down to here, reddish.
Very polite, very sweet.
Right? Freckles, feminine, but tomboyish, right?
Yeah.
And in all the world, now this is a true story, and it's really important because people are like, dude, you're making this shit up. There's no way. You live in a town of like 500 people. No, it's not. And my wife she'll testify to this. This is
Yes,
testimony.
this happened.
It's testimony.
Tonight.
And we're sitting down at the table and she's over for dinner. And we're all having a conversation and we're eating and we feed everybody who comes over because that's what we do. We love food. And I'm talking about transgenderism. And I'm like, this is a multifaceted thing. America is on fire right now. Nashville is literally going to be on fire. This is going to get out of hand. And this is going to be the Brown versus Board of Education of today. It's going to get out of hand. And it's the transgender movement is going to, which is interesting because the LGBTQ community really didn't accept the transgender community and still don't, but whatever. So it's going to go huge, right? So we were talking about that. I said, it's so unfair the way the transgender people are being treated. Drag shows are not a threat. Drag shows have been going on forever. Drag shows in front of children is a threat. But as adults, we shouldn't get upset that Dylan Mulvaney is on a Bud Light cover. Right. Who gives a shit? Who cares? I don't care.
Bud Light's not advertising to elementary school children anyway.
Right. Yeah, I don't know many 6-year-olds drinking Bud Light, right? So who cares? But hold on a second, right? Let's keep that up because that is a high level argument. And yes, I do care if my children are going to see it. But honestly, Dylan Mulvaney has every single right to be to make a living and all of that as anyone else. And anyone who says they don't, I think it's bullshit. But we'll talk about this. But on the other side, I'm also saying that there was a group of transgender and LGBTQ people in San Francisco who held a swimmer today against her will, punched her in the face twice, simply because she was on the Olympics and she has been speaking out against men in women's sports, and she fervently is against it. And she was forced to get into a small size room / closet to hide away from this lynch mob. And I'll show it to you today. And my thoughts on that were, this is ridiculous and this is insane. And right when I started doing that, I saw a communication between the two girls, my daughter and this girl, and they started looking at each other back and forth. And I could recognize that both were uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And then Hayden looked at me and she went like this, and she's like, no, don't talk about this. Stop. And of course, instead of me going, okay, I'm like, no, I'm not going to not talk about it at my own dinner table in my own house. If someone's uncomfortable, please say something so we are all aware and we can set the parameters of what's okay to talk about at the table and what's not. And then Hayden goes, that's right. I'm sorry. We would rather not talk about this. And I know my friend would rather not talk about it. I said, great, let's change the subject. So one thing led to another. And I'm in here and I'm typing up on the show and I'm getting ready for tonight. And then I stop and I'm like, I got a weird feeling. So I called Hayden and I said, Hayden, come on downstairs. And she sits down across from me and I'm like, I want to talk to you. And I said, honey, are you ashamed of your mom and I? Are you ashamed about what we do? Are you ashamed about what I talk about? And do I embarrass you? And she's like, oh God, no. She's like, no, I think what you do is awesome. And I said, do you think I'm transphobic? And she goes, no, absolutely not. She goes, I disagree with you. I think there's mental, that physical, no, a boy's a boy and a girl's a girl, but mentally it's complicated. And that's what I believe. And I said, okay. She goes, but I don't think you're transphobic at all. It's just that conversation was very uncomfortable. And I said, can I ask you why? Because I think conversations like that are really important for people to have. And if she didn't want to talk about that, that's totally cool, because some parents don't bring that stuff up with their kids, and I don't want to encroach upon anybody. She goes, no, that's not it. She's trans. I said, what? In 6th grade. And I want to be clear when I say this, because I believe that there's men and women, that is a boy. And I will call her by her first name that she's chosen, and I will say she, and I will treat her like a girl until it's something that has to be boy and girl specific, like going into and changing for the swimming pool with my daughter in the same room. The answer is fucking no. Right? Mm-hmm. So anything like that, but everything else I'm fine. And I stopped, and for a moment, and this is important, and I don't know what Olivia thought, maybe she'll be really honest. my first thought was, forbid it. Forbid this. Ask her to leave and get her out of the house. And I stopped and I said, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I took a breath and I'm like, hold on. That's the gut reaction, because there's fear, right? Because I know what the community goes through. I know what's happening. I understand, and my first reaction was protect my kid. And then I just took a breath and I said, this little girl has been in your house for 6 hours. And she's sweet as pie and kind as hell and loving and nice to everybody.
Nice to Ethan. And she's great to the pets.
Great to the pet, and just a good and respectful.
Respectful, yeah.
And I'm like, and Hayden's looking at me like, Dad, what do you want to do? And I said, let's get your mom. We had a conversation. And I said, here's the boundaries. Okay? The boundaries are, this is my house, and I'm going to say the things I want in my house. However, I will be cognizant of what's going on. Second, you can let her know that she's safe here at any time. And if she needs to run home from the bus, she can. And if people are picking on her or try to hurt her, she's safe here. And if she needs us, but there's a limit to a girl-girl relationship. This will never be your girlfriend in the sense sleeping over or going in the bathroom together or changing in front of each other. Those things will not happen with your friend. Otherwise, everything else is fine and we'll figure it out. And this is new to me. And that was my reaction. But the first thing I thought of was just eliminate this threat. And I had to stop. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I think it's extremely profound to challenge. I've challenged my own racist thoughts that I had when I was younger, because I grew up in a family who was racist. And I had to overcome some of those feelings, even though it was only a split second. And it's the same thing. Before we judge, remember, somebody comes up and says, hey, mother blanker to you. The first thing you want to do is punch them, and then you've got to stop. So the emotion kicked in and then the logic took over. Olivia, I want to know your thoughts. And then I want to get both of your thoughts, because honestly, it was insane. Go ahead.
Well, I had absolutely no idea.
I had no idea either.
No idea. Looks totally like a girl. So no idea. She's also young, so they still have the higher pitched voices and stuff like that. So yeah, so I mean, I had no idea. But
did you have that feeling that I did at first?
I did
all?
not. Nope.
Not one little bit.
Nope.
Good.
I was more like, oh, okay. I had no idea. That was my first thought. But honestly, yeah, there was no fear whatsoever of her being around Hayden and influencing Hayden. Honestly, I'm happy that Hayden is friends with her, because Hayden is a very strong little girl, and she stands up for her friends and she will fight for her friends. And honestly, I think this little girl is lucky to have Hayden in her life, because Hayden will stand up for her and Hayden will protect her. And honestly, it doesn't bother me at all. I totally agree with the no spending the night, no changing for the pool or any type of anything together. But I think it's great. And she wanted to try out for the play, but she froze up on stage when she was trying out, so she didn't make it. So I even suggested, I said, maybe next year you guys can practice lines before you go. And she was all excited. So
Debbie just got me all for Clem. She goes, Matt, if your daughter thought you were transphobic, she never would have brought her home.
Oh, that's a good.
So
wow.
Hayden did say that Olivia and I were homophobic at one point, because she thought we were, because, the show and everything else. And she I don't think she understood what it meant, but I know Hayden thought we were a lot of things before we kind of reconciled as a family.
I think a lot of that was being fed into her by other people.
Sister, right?
I think it was being fed into her, and there was a lot, considering that in the last 3 months that your sister has been out of her life.
Oh my
she's
God. Okay.
Changed.
All right. We're not going to air dirty family laundry here. So the thing that you guys that really kind of took me back is that I wasn't fearful to have a person who identified as trans, because I think this girl is probably very confused, right? And I don't know if this is a fling or if it's just a thing. But I have to treat it seriously, just like if someone told me they had cancer. And just like if someone told me that they had a parent who was in the military, I would act a certain way. Everything requires, certain parameters of how you respond. But the thing that I was scared about wasn't of having that person influence my child. It was that her parents would find out who I am and think that I am what most of the left think I am, a Nazi, transphobic, white racist. And I was like, I don't want to ruin another one of my daughter's friendships based upon who her dad is, because it's ruined relationships. It has. And I'm just not going to lie. People find out who I am and they're just like, I don't want you next to that Trump supporter. And without getting to know me, they don't know. But I'd love to get your guys' thoughts, and I'd love for you to tell what you guys think about this. And this is going to go into the next conversation, which is all kind of segmented and tied together. So,
Amy, you want to go first?
No, I don't. I think I'm going to have the opposite view of everybody.
I think the initial reaction, like what Matt was talking about, which is one, generally speaking, of protection for your own kids, some mixed with some level of fear of what could happen, that kind of thing. But ultimately, we need to get to a point where we realize it's just a person, and we can treat them with empathy. But that being said, we've had this discussion on the show before. I don't know when we got to this point in society where we stopped kind of defining boys and girls by what our body makes. And in other words, like, if you and your body in its most natural form, assuming everything works the way it's supposed to, if you're making sperm, guess what sex you are. If you're making eggs, we know what sex you are, right? And I don't know when all of that kind of changed, but I think that there's been this personality confusion, right, over the last several years, where people, generally speaking, younger, right, they mix their preferences, whatever that is, their sexual preferences, they get that mixed up with their personality traits. And you can have more effeminate males, and you can have more masculine females, but that doesn't mean that you're born in the wrong body, right? It just means that you're more of an effeminate male, and that's fine. Again, and to bring this whole thing around, that's why we need to treat everyone with empathy, because basically everyone's got something that they're working through. You don't know that in 4 years, 5 years, 10 years time, that person, right, isn't going to realize, oh my God, I went through this transition and it was the wrong decision, and now I want my junk back.
That's such a good point. Real quick, I want to just make one point, is that this is what I was thinking. So a lot of people are questioning, oh, Matt, I couldn't do it. And I respect all your comments, and nobody's being rude or like, I'm never watching this show again. If you are, go fuck yourself. I really don't want to hear from you. Just not an airport. Just check out and leave and get some turbulence and hit a mountain. But metaphorically, of course. But my first thought was to like be a dad. Protect, right? But my second thought was, and why I didn't say no, I stopped and said, let's get mom and have a conversation, was because of the following, is because that boy or little girl is going to have plenty of bigots in her life.
Sure.
And I am not going to add to it. Some people are like, well, how can you add to the delusion and because
it's not our decision.
It's not our decision, but more importantly, and real quick, is I remember that as a kid, I wanted to be called a different name sometimes, or I thought that I was from a different planet, and I pretend, and I thought Candyland was real, so I whatever. So we all have make believe, and some kids grow out of it quicker, and it can be damaging to tell somebody, your imagination or what you think or what you feel is wrong and it's evil and it has to stop. And I'm just not going to be that person. I just can't. It's just like I wouldn't tell another child who is friends that Santa Claus was or was not, right? It's not my job. Right. All I can do is support my daughter's friends the best I know how, and try to be supportive and try not to make the situation exemplified or worse based upon my own bigotry. Because we all are bigots. Every single person on this planet is a bigot. That doesn't mean racist. It means bigot. We all have ignorance to things, and we don't know how to handle them sometimes. So, Liv, and then Amy, and I want to get your thoughts.
Yeah, well, it's not our decision to make whether or not she chooses to be trans and go through this. That's her and her parents and her family, and It's our job to support our daughter in the decisions she chooses to make, and whether that be friends with her or not. It's our job to support Hayden. And it's none of our business what this little girl decides to do with her own life.
No, and I'll be honest, and can I just say this from the bottom of my heart? And I'm trying not to get emotional. If there was a girl, she was a girl. And I had no idea. In every sense of the word, and that's going to change, right? When puberty hits, the ball's going to drop, you're going to get shaved, you have to shave, and the deep voice will come, and there won't be any form up here unless there's medicine. But as of all, if we let all bygones be bygones and we let all questions of questions go, I didn't know it until I knew, and then I saw the signs. But it was that convincing. I would have, if you would have went up to me and said, that's a boy, I would say, you are in fucking sane. There is no way in hell that that's a boy. So maybe she really is a girl and just identifies the boy, and she's telling people that. So it doesn't really matter. I don't care. It's none of my business. The point is she good to my daughter? Is she a good human being? And does she make it her identity? Because no, she didn't even try to interrupt me or give her opinion. She just looked uncomfortable. And then it was our job as parents to take those cues. And she even said, I think I should tell your parents because I don't want them finding out and feeling like I lied to them. And Hayden's like, you can tell my parents. And then she just forgot. Like she didn't just have that conversation because it's normal to her. So how can I sit here and judge? It's a child. And people's like, I'm not going to contribute to her delusion. I'm not going to contribute to her destruction either. Go ahead, Amy.
Oh gosh. This is hard. I'm trying to put myself in your situation.
Hard. It was so hard.
So my kids are not as old as your kids. And, so we haven't had to deal with any issues that are like this yet. I'm sure it'll come up at some point in our life. Of course, as a parent, you have to protect your own children first, right? But as a parent, you automatically protect all children, I think, if you're a good parent, right? So you want to protect your kids, but then you want to protect any child because I think that's what a good human parent with that instinct would do. Any adult who has compassion and love would protect any child.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying this child has any reason to be not protected or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all. I don't know how I would react in this situation. I really don't. I don't know if I would be as good as you were, Matt. We have a lot of conversations. We're not like uber religious freaks or anything. I mean, yes, today is Good Friday, so I'm trying to be good. I accidentally ate pork of all things today for breakfast. Holy crap, I was an idiot. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like literally the worst Catholic ever.
So you stayed home with Jason today.
It was like the worst. Oh,
you went there.
But give me a little rim shot, man. What the hell? Thank you. God,
I wasn't prepared for that.
I am the worst. So I am the worst. Like I am a sinner. Also, like obviously I'm a sinner. I am not a perfect human being. I understand that we are all full of imperfections, and no one is. We all have our issues, right? Every single one of us. I don't care if you're a man, woman, child. It doesn't matter. We all have our problems. This is such a struggle for me. It really is. I truly struggle. Yeah, no, I don't know how I would treat a child because it's a child, and you are going to treat a child differently than you treat an adult who has lived a life and who has an opinion. Right. I feel like I need more background on like this child's life and their family to have a full formed opinion on it. You know,
you're right. You're right. That's so true. Oh, we got a call from Canada. Hey. Hold on a second. This one might be one of our No, I don't think so. Maybe it's Mel. I don't know because I got that was the guy who was from Canada today who was threatening me. All right, caller. Canada, where are you from?
Oh, I'm from Canada.
From Canada. It's Mel.
I'm from
Mel, what it's Mel. What did you want to talk about, kiddo? Good to see you.
Nope, this topic is quite huge because it transposes over to the military life that we've all gone through in the last 20 plus years with having the gays and lesbians and
I was just going to say homosexuals in the military. Mel, you're cutting out.
People used to get. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Go to your spot on your go to your deck. and go to your spot on your deck.
I'm on my deck.
Okay, there you go. Face south.
Okay. So anyways, long story short is my bestest buddy, she came out finally as gay back in the day when it was not totally acceptable. And she was more worried about how my kids were going to react to their, like, air finger quotes, auntie being gay. And I'm like, Sharon, I knew you were gay before you knew you were gay. So it's all good. Like, you have to put it into perspective. It's personalities and the people's morals and values, whatever. Yes, everybody can be who they want to be. Just don't force it on anybody. And like, but she was so worried that the kids were going to be traumatized. Well, my girls are now 40 years older or 30 years older, and they have no trauma. They still love her dearly. They accept her, whatever, and going through their military careers, dealing with all these different now things. They have issues with this new rainbow flag, LGBTQ plus. Everybody's like, and that's where they're drawing the line. And this is the younger generation of the military, whatever. Yes, gays, homosexual, it's there. It's been there for millennia. It's a given thing. But having it forced down your throat that you have to say and accept and whatever, no, it goes on. To me, it's personality, values, the whole 9 yards. It's not
So Amy, I think you've got some thoughts too. We've got some people on Rumble who looks like we're having quite the Rumble conversation. Rumble is becoming a pretty big channel for us now. I mean, we're sitting
on Rumble when I'm not on. So
yeah, we're sitting at sub 785 followers, and we have roughly, almost 10% on, which is pretty good. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, we've got less than 1% on Facebook. I mean, it's like 0.1%. But
it started with Uncle Stumpy, because I mean, we've all just been like saying hi, and he said, why is this all of a sudden exploding all over the country? I don't remember anything like this, say 10 years ago. And then people are just kind of answering and stuff. But I get it. I understand that, because I don't remember hearing anything about it until recently.
Well, can I address? I think I addressed it last night in the live show, which you guys weren't a part of, but explaining in the video, I did a marketing video that you guys haven't seen. It was on the live show in regards to the woke companies aren't doing this because it matters. You just need to know this. I mean, Budweiser doesn't give a shit about the transgender community. The market share is so infinitesimally small. They don't care. What they care about is that Gen X, the boomers are dying off. In 10 years, the boomers are roughly going to make up about 12 million people. Millennials are going to be pushing 75 million people. The Gen Xers are going to be pushing, the Gen Zers and the millennials, and the Gen Xers and the boomers are going to be dropping off. And you're going to find that it's going to be the largest drop off in any history in the United States for any generation. In fact, the world's going to be the same way. We have one of the lowest rates of repopulating the planet with kids because people are having less kids. And they know that this demographic, they're moving from the sports, they're moving from the and twins, and they're moving through all of that and switching to a more softer, safe space, millennial, younger generation. And the way to get them on board is to give them a cause. And the cause is the LGBTQ movement, transgender movement, and equality. And this is how they're curtailing to them. And that's why companies are going woke. They know they're getting ahead of the curve. Right now, it's going to lose them business. They know this, but in 10 years, it's going to make them the top of the top. This is what's known as a generational shift in companies. Apple had to do it. Apple had an iPod. And if they didn't get away from the 1984 and against government and everything else, knowing that they would have to work with teachers, have to work with EDU, and that's government, they had to change the way they were. So they adopted this whole new style of computer that had more to do with teaching and education. And they put free thinkers like Einstein and Gandhi on their marketing. And Steve Jobs knew how to do that. And he moved away more from the rebels and became more of the elite and educated, and the Harvard and the Yales. And this is a generational shift that we're having today. And these companies are switching. So you also have an empowerment from the educational system that's been infiltrating our educational system since they were essentially booted from Hollywood. They took over the media, they took over our colleges, and now they're moving into K through 12 education. And this is an indoctrination. There's a reason why they want to influence our children, is because they want the old regime out. And this is the Maoist push that we saw in the 1950s, 1960s China. It's the same type of thing. This is exactly the same type of thing. It's forced groupthink. It's take out the other class, the ruling class, minority class comes in. That's not the majority voice, and essentially overthrows and replace it with a Maoist philosophy. And either you join or else. Leroy knows this. I know this. We've been talking about the Saul Alinsky playbook. I'll show you two pictures and then we'll open it up for discussion. And I'll let you guys talk about it real quick, and I'll get these two pictures off my phone. But I'd love to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, yes, this is, what's the buzzword for it? It's not, the influence of, the populate. It's like whatever's the cool
Peer
in
pressure?
trend. You know, no, not peer pressure, but there's like a buzzword
bandwagon.
for it.
Populism, woke.
It doesn't matter. No, I'll think of it in a minute. But
Like
you know,
a bandwagon?
no, I'll think of it, and then
It's okay. Go ahead.
But when I was a child, when I was in middle school, high school, even elementary school, there were influences. Obviously, I leaned into certain things. I was persuaded by certain things. But none of those things that I did, like a bad haircut, poor outfit choices, whatever. I literally looked like a dork for the first 25 years of my life. I was just a mess. But the first 25 years of my life were not the choices that I made did not severely impact the rest of my life. I'm in the back half of my 25 years now, you know. And there's nothing that I did as a child that has done irreparable harm or damage or changed myself in any way. And you can say this about anything, you know. So there's a lot of questions I have, and I don't want to sound like a Bible thumper, but I will say this. Because I do believe in God, and I do believe in the Bible, and I do believe in Satan, and I do think that Satan is walking amongst us, and I think a lot of his teachings are here, and I think it's infiltrating a lot of our society, and I think we need to be cognizant of that. And I don't believe this is what God wants for our society and our world. And kids are an easy target because they are influenced by their families. And if we don't have strong morals and boundaries set for our children, then it's our fault. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, or we're making the wrong or right decisions. It's not for me to judge that. But, you know, when I talk to my kids, we don't have to have these conversations yet. Like I said, we're just not there. My kids are young. And I am terrified of that day, because I don't know how I will react. And I'm sure it will happen, because this is the world we are in right now. But we do talk about, you know, what God wants for us and the life he wants for us. And of course we've all strayed from that. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm like probably the least perfect person. But as an adult now, I can reflect on that and think, yes, I want to do better. And I hope I'm teaching that with my children. And I hope that they can see what God wants for them and stay on that path. And they'll probably stray at some point, and that's their choice. But I'm not going to, as a parent, say, yes, live your life. I'm going to do my best to say that's not a good decision.
Right.
I don't agree with that. I don't want you to do that.
I specifically asked Hayden that question. I said, honey, I need to know. You talk a lot about this. And she's like, oh, no, I'm completely straight. In fact, I love boys now. And you know, I'm like, it was a phase. And this might be a phase for her.
Right,
but if you look at these two pictures up here, the one thing that the Red Brigade and the communist Maoists that were pushing the philosophy of ultra progressive socialist behavior, the one thing that they had, and look at these two. Yep. What?
If I'm not mistaken, that picture that's above me right now, this one right here, that looks like it's from Great Leap Forward. That's what that looks like.
1940, 1950?
Earlier than that, I thought, but close enough.
It might have been earlier than that. Well, the big Maoist push was 50s and 60s. What?
Social contagion. That's the buzzword.
Thank you.
I like
So
I told you it would come to me. That's what
so the two pictures that you're looking at and this revolution was a burning of certain monikers and flags and identifiers of not a patriotic China, but symbology of Chinese culture that were being set afire and burned, and was completely just a revisionist type focus on instituting the Communist Chinese Communist Party and bringing it into China. And the reason why it was successful, and Lima will tell you too, is because they had the backing of the leaders of China to do this. And I will tell you, these activists, I'm going to show you some video. Now this is where I've just defended transgender choices and decisions for the last 4, and now I'm going to fucking blow it apart. Because there's a difference between that little girl who was in my kitchen tonight and what's happening out there today. And this is not about accepting transgenderism. This is about surrendering what we believe. This isn't about acceptance. It's about denial. And you cannot deny what they're saying and what they're propagating. You have to deny your values in order to be accepted. And if you do not, you will be destroyed. And the reason why this was successful above Leroy's head is because they had the backing of the CCP. And these people in Nashville, although they are kids, and the destruction and the attitudes that we've been seeing and how Republicans are calling this an insurrection, knock it off, Republicans. You look asinine. But in San Francisco, what's happened, and these other trans people who we need to be honest, and I'm going to be honest with you right now, here it is. The trans people are such a small population. Well, I want you to look at the last 6 massive shootings. It's all been people who self-identify as something other than what they are.
Right.
And that population is such a microcosm and so small, those numbers are fucking staggering.
Yep.
And I'm not looking at mass shootings, the 5,000 in the last 15 years based upon drive-bys. You know what a mass shooting is. It's somebody going in and hitting a school, hitting a mall, hitting where people are unprotected. We know what it is. It's not a drive-by or a gang or domestic violence. That shit makes up 99% of the mass shootings. I'm talking about the 300 to 400 that have happened over the last 20 years. And those are the ones we're talking about. And 6 of the last so many are weaponized and violent people who are confused about their gender. And here's what it is. And I'm going to say this, and you know what? I might get banned on YouTube. I know Facebook's going to be fine. Rumble's going to be fine. Twitter's going to be fine. And fuck you, YouTube. I don't care. This is my opinion, so go fuck yourself. This is the liberals' fault. They have weaponized hatred towards Republicans.
Yeah.
And they have weaponized a group of people who are unstable.
Yep.
And by doing that and saying that we have your back, and on today on the podium, KJP, and I'll show it to you, said, we've got your back. Get out there and fight. Get out there. I understand what you're saying. I understand the message, but you're also going to have people who are going to blame Christians. They're going to blame white people. They're going to blame heterosexuals who are just trying to live their life, and they're going to punish them because you're empowering them with hate. We're not doing that. I'm not saying that. I'm not banning books. I'm not saying transgenders aren't human beings and don't deserve human rights. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just get it the fuck away from my kid. Get all of it away from my kid. My kid doesn't need to be worried about sex at 13 years old. They don't need to hear that my son's toxic masculinity is going to overtake him and he oppresses women. He doesn't need to hear that shit. It's a learned behavior. Get it out of my child's lives. But what you cannot do is take people who are obviously struggling with a decision, highest suicide rates, highest murder rates, highest rape, highest incest, drug use, suicide. And these numbers aren't 3 or 4%. You're talking 65% of the transgender population in some cases. You're seeing 70% who get retransitioning surgery who regret it later. Yeah. Folks, this is serious shit, and these people are struggling. And we have nothing to give them but medicine. There's no mental health help for this type of stuff. And you're telling them that the reason their existence is so poor and so fucking horrible is white people and Christians and Trump supporters. And you're turning us into fucking targets. And how is that any different than white supremacists saying, go shoot up a black church? And I'm not afraid. I carry, but we have got to be careful with what we say, and words do matter. And it's not okay to sit here and call all Trump supporters Nazis or white supremacists or transphobic or homophobic, because you're lying. Because 81 million people are not. And if we were, let me tell you a little story. The other fucking 78 million to 89 million people who oppose us wouldn't be here anymore. If we were a bunch of Nazis, you crazy fuckers. This is ridiculous, and people are going to die, and this stuff is going to continue if you keep feeding this hate. There is no genocide against transgenders. There is nothing going on. If we wouldn't be in cases of drug use and prostitution, murder probably wouldn't happen to transgenders as much as it does. They put themselves in very difficult positions because their choices are limited, and it's unfair. But the only people who are running those inner cities are not Republicans, it's the Democrats. And it's the same reason all minorities that follow Democrats get screwed. Every single one of them, including transgenders. Because there is no motivation for the Democratic Party to make you a majority, because then you'll vote Republican. And that's the truth. So there it is. Ban me if I'm fucking wrong. Tell me what I said was a lie. Call me on the show.
There's anything you said that would make them ban you.
No, there's nothing in there that would cause a ban. I would say, to Amy's point about religion, that when you go back a certain amount of time in history, right, the left largely used religion as justification to do certain things. And what I mean by that is Adolf Hitler, for example. Mm-hmm. Adolf Hitler said at one point in a speech that it was that he was doing the Lord's work when he was waging war against the Jews. Okay, which would establish him as basically saying, look, this is a religious quest. This is a religious argument. We've traveled far enough from that, but it's still on the left, where instead of using religion as justification, they want to wipe out, seems like to me, all religion. Yep. Okay. And I think there's a reason for that. And that reason is that within any of the religions, there is this established set of morals. There's this established set of values that you would raise your kid with. When you raise your kid and you say, look, this is the good book, there within that book is a guideline, is a set of rules that says, look, this is our ethical values, this is our morals, these are the things that we are and are not supposed to do. And if they can destroy that part of it, right, then that leaves everyone kind of moralless.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to make this a Bible, Bible thumping, session. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I am trying to say is something that I had said back when Ryan was on the show, Ryan Weaver, that, logical arguments only work with logical people. Emotional arguments only work with emotional people. Same thing here. Religious arguments only work with religious people who would understand and recognize that argument, because if they don't understand it, they're not going to change their mind. And so we're left with this decay, and I use that word very lightly. We're left with this trend, right, that the farther and farther we move from a moral base, you end up with more shootings. You end up with more Bill Clinton in a blue dress kind of scenarios. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Hold on one second. Caller, can you hear us? Caller, can you hear us? Okay, Olivia, go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Okay, so Leroy, to kind of piggyback off what you were just saying on how the left is, trying to get rid of religion a little bit. I think
Sure.
people as a whole need to have some sort of faith or something to follow. And religious people follow the Bible or Christ, or that's their faith. Well, if you
Right.
get people away from believing in God, they're going to naturally want to follow something else. So if the left gets away from religion and gets people to stop believing, then they're going to be able to pull those people to their side to believe what they believe.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that makes sense.
Right.
Caller, can you hear us? Yes, you can. I'm trying to get the caller on real quick. Hello. We got to figure out something else. Guys, Skype changed their NDI, and all it's got to do is get fixed, and we'll go back to the old number. But when they updated the software, it hasn't been updated. I'm going to check it tomorrow because the phone doesn't work. Every time we get somebody on, it disconnects. Bluetooth sucks. Bluetooth's always sucked. It's a shitty technology. Zigbee was 10 times better, but welcome to people pushing things. Amy, go ahead.
To piggyback off of Leroy and Liv, yes, I'm not against kids having fads. I'm really not. I'm not against the transgender community as a community, but I am against people making long-term life-altering decisions as a child. I am against that. And I think if a boy or a girl wants to identify as the opposite sex, fine. But I don't think we need to alter their
Genitals.
chemical makeup of their bodies. Like, let them
Yeah.
do what they want. My kids have gone through tons of phases. My daughter thought she was a princess until recently, like legitimately. I didn't think for the rest of her. I didn't, try to get her into a royal family. It's kids go through things at all ages, and I think the average human brain isn't fully developed until age 25, 26. I might be wrong about that, but somewhere around there, right? For the average human. So I think and look, I was 25 before I got my shit together. So like that makes sense to me. And it's like, oh my gosh, I made so many mistakes. I did so many dumb things until I got old enough to go, wow, this is not working. So I think there's a lot of grace that needs to be given to young people, but I think we also need to encourage them to embrace the things that they want to, but not do damage to themselves, to their spirit, to their bodies.
There's no reason. It doesn't change anything.
Right.
You're not doesn't make you a woman or a man. Brianna, real quick, hold on, time out. I got to keep communicating with the team. Brianna, everybody, if you want to call in, just click the Call My Show. We pay for it. I will not put you on video camera. I will not be able to see you on camera, and we can just do audio. So click the URL, and what you want to do is give your speaker the right. You can do it on your phone, or you can do it on your web browser, and we'll put you into the show that way. And that way, it's easy. Nobody will see your picture. You don't have to share your camera, and you can just share audio. We're going to do this from now on. I'm so fucking sick of these phones. So if you want to call into the show, it's that simple. I just put up the link. Olivia's going to spam the link to you for the rest of the night. And this is how you do it. You just open up your web browser. You put in that URL on your phone or wherever else and just click it and come on into the show. It's the easiest way to do it. Please do that from now on. So Rhiannon, if you want to come in, do it that way. All right. Whoever wanted to talk.
I just want to throw out a quick point. It used to be an easy thing to dismiss a fad, right? Whether or not you're talking about somebody who wanted to shave a lightning bolt into their hair on the side of their head or shave off their eyebrows, that's fine, right? It grows back. But when you cause permanent damage to your body, that's a problem. And most parents would recognize that when someone has to go get stitches or something like that, that's a scar. Right. And a scar is simple enough. That's not the end of the world. But if you mutilate your genitals, well, so much of what we are as people is wrapped up in our sexuality. I mean, the whole idea behind being here is to procreate. So
yep.
Yeah. Can I say something real quick?
Mel's here. Mel, can you just say something real quick? Hold on. Try to get her added. Hold on a second. Let me figure this out just real quick. Liv, go ahead.
So thinking about the transgender community and about how their suicide rate is so high and depression and the mental issues that they have, if they're starting to do this hormone stuff and trying to transition when they're teenagers and young kids, that's got to do something to their brain. It's hard enough to go through puberty as one sex, but try to do it as another. That's going to permanently damage their structure and permanently damage stuff in their brain, and will have repercussions when they're older. Also, what about when somebody who thinks they want to transition and starts it at a young age and starts taking the hormones and doing all that, and then they change their mind, but they've already done the damage, whether it be have a surgery. I mean, look at Shiloh Jolie Pitt, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's daughter. When she was like 8, she came out and said, I want to be a boy. Call me John. She wore suits to all their public stuff. She's still like 17, 18. She's wearing dresses. Her name's Shiloh again. She's full on girl. And kids are confused about what? And it's the parent's job to support your children, but not go as so far as to...
You're supposed to guide them too, right?
You're supposed to guide them. I mean, like Ethan went through a phase because Hayden was playing with dolls. He wanted to play with dolls. So what do? We went out and bought him a boy doll, and he played dolls with Hayden for a little bit.
Those
and
are called action figures, Olivia?
No, it was an actual baby doll. It was an actual boy baby doll that we got him. Lasted for about 3 months, and then he was fine. He still has the doll, but he never plays with it. It's in his stuffed animal bin. But that's us supporting him, but not so delusional as to think because he wants to play with dolls that he wants to be a girl now. And I think a lot of parents, they see their little girl wanting to only dress in pants and play in the dirt with the boys, or their boy wants to play with Barbies and blah, blah, blah. So they go on and they push it to, okay, maybe you want to be a girl or maybe you want to be a boy. And I think the parents have a lot to do with this, where they push their kids into thinking this without giving their kids the right to experience it on their own and figure it out on their own.
So all valid points. We got to move forward. I know Mel's on. I want to watch this video, and then I got Alex calling in too, and I got to get him on, but I got to get Mel on first. So hold on a second. I want to watch this because this does play into it. Now this was in San Francisco today, and Mel, can you hear us? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. So this was in San Francisco today. Everybody's making awesome points. I love that. And this is a swimmer for the 2020 Olympic team who had to compete against males, and she resigned from swimming and decided to go ahead and stand up for women's rights, which let's be completely transparent. Transgenders have absolutely no claim on women's rights.
Nope.
At all. And I will argue this to the day I die. And because there is no such thing as women's rights and men's rights, and it's only human rights. That's it. That's it. That's all. Okay. I don't care. And if you want to go ahead and say that animals have rights, no, animals don't have rights. We have to do what's morally and ethically sound and not, punish animals or hurt animals, but there are no such thing as animal rights. Okay. There's human rights. That's the way it works. And if you want to eat chicken and eat cow, good for you, more power. Okay. Shouldn't eat cats and dogs. Probably not good, considering that would be a moral code that humans establish. Okay.
Exactly.
Now, here's the video. And I want you to watch how she's treated, the language. And I want you specifically, here's the thing. It's the insanity from these people. This literally is Facebook personified, and it's leaving the digital realm and turning into the way people treat each other face to face. And it is sheer meltdown city, chaos, psychotic episodes of just pure insanity. These people, like, I'm not kidding. If I was in this situation, I was walking with my family and one of them approached me like this, I would draw my weapon. And I would tell them very firmly, if you continue to move, I'm going to put you down.
Yep.
You're a threat to me. You're a threat to my family. And my job is to get my family home. And I don't know if you have a weapon. I don't know, but right now you need to stop. I'm standing my ground. I'm following stand my ground law. The next thing you will hear is the last thing you hear if you continue to advance towards me. That's how insane these people are acting. Here's a video.
It's just me. I'm good. I'm good. I'm coming. I'm good. Trust me, I'm good. Go ahead.
Trans rights are human rights! You crying! You fucking crying, bitch! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Trans rights are human rights! Trans rights are human fucking rights! Bye, bitch! Bye, bitch!
You're dressed like a communist.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Trans women are women! 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 Trans women are women!
I love it. Okay. This was the scene.
Wow.
And I'll be honest with you. And I'm going to say this to the best of my ability. Democrats, we would be shocked if we didn't see you assholes do that 200 some odd times and cause $2.5 billion. That's fucking insurrection. That is not Nashville. Those kids laying down and protesting, good for them. And the legislatures that were fired, Republicans were shut down. The two should be fucking ashamed of themselves. Those Republicans should be forced to resign, every fucking one of them, and we should lose our seats. Because that was peaceful protest. I don't give a fuck if he has a megaphone or not. If a legislature wants to get down with their people and that's their district, they have every right to do that. Go fuck yourselves. Republicans, you're repugnant pieces of shit, and it's really hard for me to fucking defend you constantly when you keep doing racist shit. It's really hard for me to shed the monikers of racism when you fucking assholes keep being racist. You should have got her too. But you let the white, how fucking stupid are you Republicans that you don't fucking get all three of them, including a white woman? How fucking stupid are you that this is just like January 6th, you fucking idiots. This is just like 2014 with the Tea Party Patriots after the Koch brothers came in. What is wrong with you? How stupid can you be? If you're going to hold the standard, you hold all. I don't care that she's been there for 30 years. I don't care that she apologized. I don't care that she's white. And yes, those two gentlemen stir up the shit. And one of them sounds like Malcolm X and all of it. And yes, he's harmless because nobody takes him fucking seriously. But now you've turned him into a martyr. We've got a bunch of people calling in. I've got Mel in. I want her opinion. I'm sorry, folks. I'm fired up tonight. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of Republicans doing stupid stuff. Go ahead, Rhiannon. I'm bringing you in right now. Mel, you first.
Nope, 1000%, Matt. The only thing I have an issue with is how come it's only the trans women? Where's the trans men in all of this?
That was my thought. That was the first thing I thought of when I was watching the video. I'm like, trans women?
They're at WNBA
what about trans
games.
men?
They're at WNBA games.
Where's all these trans men going into, like, whatever? So actually there was a thing on the TV tonight going, oh, so the losers for the draft for the NBA, they're all now going to become trans women and go
broke
into
the rules.
Right.
So it's only focused on one direction. It's trans women. So, and that's the 9,000%, whatever. There's not that many going the other way, going trans men going, I'm like, the women going to be guys. Because they're very, very, very silent all
But they're
this
not
shit.
violent. That's the problem. They're not, and the ones that are so, hold on, they're so hormoned out. The ones that are ultimately violent are these guys that are just completely off of it. But most drag queen, non-fully transitioned people who aren't on hormones, they're just normal fucking people, man. And they just want to be happy in drag. Leave them alone. Leave them alone.
So
The ones who want to go and see hold on a second. The ones who want to go see kids and shit, that stuff needs to stop. No trans reading time and drag show reading time. No, get the fuck away from my family. But if you want to go to the Diamond Cabaret and strip on a pole, I don't care. More power to you. Rhiannon has something to say. I can only have 5 people on at a time because we're running in 4K. Alex, I got you. As soon as somebody drops off, I'll bring you on. Rhiannon, go ahead. You've been wanting to say something. One real quick. Carrie said, Matt, they broke the rules. Knock it off. You know damn well that those rules were chicken shit. They got on a megaphone. They yelled a lot. They went ahead and people protested. There was no insurrection. Nothing was broken. Nobody was hurt. Nobody beat up cops. Nobody got shot. Ashley Babbitt didn't get shot again. Knock it off. This was nothing close to January 6th. Now, San Francisco, Democrats, you don't think they're yelling right now? You don't think Nancy Pelosi's like, you fuckers, who did it? I want to know who did it. I want them arrested because they're making my district look bad. You damn right Pelosi's on the phone. Rhiannon, go ahead.
Sorry, I have to cool myself. You make me laugh.
Thanks.
So
that's
this
what
is
I do.
the first time being on here.
Well,
live.
that's always comforting to my self-esteem. Thanks.
Hi, and thanks for being on.
Yeah, welcome.
You definitely intimidate me, though. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I kind of get scared to call in, like.
Oh, he should.
Hold on. You don't get to drop a bomb like that, not have me respond. I'm a teddy bear online. It's when we're, you know, listen, go ahead. You know what, Rhiannon? I adore you. I think you're awesome. Go ahead. Give me your thoughts.
So the transgender thing is definitely crazy. I don't agree with it. And I've had my little issues growing up. I was molested when I was 5. Maybe in my teenage years, I experienced a lot of things that I never should have had to experience. And I've been a tomboy my whole life, but I know I'm a woman. And I think, these people want us to listen to them, but when you sit there and scream over people and call them bitches, cunts, whatever, you're either going to call me ma'am or man. Sorry.
No, see you next Tuesday is fine too.
I do have a mouth, but
I've said the word.
All good.
Totally good here.
Right. We're called terrorists if we don't agree with them, or
that's right,
that we hate them, or and I agree. I got kids of my own, and I've dealt with child protective services and stuff like that. So I can definitely understand a lot of things, but I don't agree with somebody changing their sex because they'll regret it later. Mm-hmm. There's people that already do.
Yeah, I agree with you 120%. And I want to be clear. I'm not saying, okay, listen, to the people who are saying that the legislators broke policy, okay, stop feeding me the fucking Republican talking points, okay? I already know them all. I know them all. Don't treat me like liberals treat me. Knock it off. Everything you think you know, I've already been there and I've already done that. And I've already processed it and I've already thrown it in the trash. Don't do the talking points to me. Number one, you don't fucking kick them off their duly elected seats and piss off 150,000 people because that's what they just did. You just pissed off 150,000. A Republican will never win in that district for 20 fucking years. Number one, that's what you just created. Number two, peaceful protest is how our country was founded. And when they finally do a peaceful protest and they don't burn something down, you still punish them. The optics on it have set the Republican Party back. You need to think. This is Tennessee. You might as well just done it in Georgia and got a rope and a tree. That's the damage you just did to the Republican Party. Folks, it's politics. Don't you understand? This cost us votes.
Optics.
This is bad. If you want the black community to come under our umbrella, what you should have done is suspend all of them for 30 days. That's what you should have done. No pay, 30 days. Get your asses out of here. You guys, until we calm down, you guys are a hot mess and you created something you shouldn't have. Period. End of story. But by removing the voice of the people, you just did what we've accused them to do in 2020 of stealing an election. You just stole a fucking election. Now, these people are probably going to be coming back and they're probably going to get their seats back. But we've got to be smarter than this. We've got to be better because you're playing into the hands of the Democrats. Don't you understand? We are not the party of racism. They are.
Right.
And you're allowing them to shift the narrative by doing stuff like this. We need to be smarter. Mel, go ahead.
No, and you're 1000% right. The Republican Party's got to fight fire with fire at the right fire. Like, not do what they're doing right now. Like, they've got to go back, regroup, think this all over again, and come out as a united whatever. Because right now it's a shit show. Because everybody's all over the map.
Dude, okay, Carrie, you and I completely disagree because you didn't say a word about MTG. You didn't say anything about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Why didn't you go ahead and call her out for disrupting the floor? Why didn't you go ahead and call her out? This is the problem, Carrie, is stop being so myopic with your viewpoints. Republicans can make mistakes. So can Donald Trump. I've been trying to tell you all that for 2 years. People make mistakes. We need to call out our party when they make mistakes. This was stupid. You could have done it for 30 days, and what were they going to say? And also, make sure the white woman gets the exact same treatment as the black guys, you freaking idiots. That's what equality looks like. And second, I'm not intimidating. Stop it. Knock it off. If I'm intimidating, it's because you don't have the facts. That's the only reason to be intimidated anyone on my show. I love everybody. I treat you all fairly. Just don't sit here and give me the talking points. I've watched Tucker, okay? I've watched Fox. I've watched The Blaze. I know what they are.
Maureen had a good point and said, wonder if roid rage plays into these attacks. I guarantee hormones do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know
really
when
good
I'm
point.
that time of the month and my hormones are off balance, I am freaking wacko sometimes. And that's just natural hormones.
Sometimes.
You're funny.
Sometimes.
And
That's so
that's
cute.
natural hormones. I mean, having to be on.
Imagine injecting it. Yeah.
Yeah. And if they're not, if
into
it's,
my penis.
if they're
You
not,
can come do it for me.
if they're
Oh.
not on specific stuff
What
and
the-
the
oh my
right
God.
medication for them, it's gonna be a little. They're going to be a little off.
See,
Yes.
I want to listen to the vernacular that's happening in chat right now. I disagree, and they should have gotten rid of them all. So let me ask you a question. Here it is. Are you ready? We're in California, right? And we are in Bakersfield, California City Council. And they are trying to remove gain elements and the meth problem that they have in Bakersfield, California. And there's 3 Republicans, and there's a shooting. And it's at a Christian school, just like it was here. And they start pushing back and asking for more crime punishment to get rid of the progressives. And they go ahead, and those legislators, Kevin McCarthy from Bakersfield, all come together, and they go in, and they go into the interim chambers of the Capitol. They go to Sacramento, and they go ahead and do a sit-in and bring 1,000 people in there, and they protest. You're telling me that you would be okay with those Republicans being removed from their constitutionally elected chairs and not punished, not warned, but removed? You're full of shit. You would say, it's just like 2020 trying to steal the election again. You know you would. Just because we don't like these people, just because they're fucking morons, and just because they're sitting there talking like it's 1960 and they're completely not aware of what's going on, that does not mean that they don't get to represent their constituents. You remove the people's voice. It didn't need to happen. You didn't remove them for 30 days, and then when they wouldn't leave, then you do that. You remove them the right way. You say you're gone for 30 days. And then when they refuse to leave and they continue to stay there, then you go ahead and vote. But you want to know how I know they're wrong? Because they're already backpedaling and they're going to reverse the vote. If they were right, they would stand pat. they know they're wrong. I know they're wrong. And only a few people in chat don't know it, which just baffles the shit out of me why you don't. Anybody else want to talk about this? Go ahead, Mel.
So, what is your reaction to Sheriff Billy Woods' episode in his constituency with those murders?
Yeah. So, are you talking about the guy? This is the guy that brings it to the press, right? Billy Wood?
Yes.
Yeah. Honestly, I is this the one who called for the shooting of the carjacker and he would well be within his rights? That guy?
Yes.
Yeah. I completely agree with him. Listen, because of the severity of what that carjacker did and the crimes that he was committing, all you had to do was say, I heard this on the radio. I knew who this person was. I heard it over a scanner. I stood my ground and I shot the guy. Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about somebody else?
It's the one where there's the 3 young kids that are dead. One was found in a trunk. The youngest one was the shooter that killed the one in the trunk is 12. And he had his press conference and he says, I can't post these or whatever because they're gonna whatever. And he was absolutely 1000% because he had to go and tell the parents of the ones that he arrested, the young ones, they're 15 and 12 years old. They haven't caught the third one yet. And he had a press conference and he was 1000%. He stood up and said,
so I think we're changing the topic. So I'd rather stop that and go back. And then Roxanne says, well, then you feel no need for decorum in the chambers. Is that what I said? Did I say I don't want decorum? Is that what I said? Did I say not to punish them? I said don't remove them from their duly elected chairs and remove them like you're the Gestapo. I said suspend them for 30 days. I said put them on probation for 30 days. I don't understand why we can't hear tonight. Of course you want decorum. You gavel in and you say, well, I need order. I need order. This needs to stop. This needs to disperse. And I need you to help me do it. No, I won't do it. Okay, well then guess what? I'm letting you know you're breaking the decorum and the rules of the House, of our chambers. And if you do not cease and desist at this point right now, you will be suspended and we will put it to a vote. Screw you, Whitey. Okay, fuck it. Fine. Let's have a vote. And then you can go up there and say, I repeatedly asked, I'm the speaker. I went to the minority and the majority. We went ahead and decided to go ahead and make a call and we removed them from the situation. They'll be back in 30 days and hopefully they've learned their lesson. And anyone else does that, Republican, Democrat, or in between, white, black, or brown, we will do the exact same thing. That's what you do. What you don't do is remove people from a duly elected chair with no freaking track record, with no warnings on record, with no other violations. I'm sorry, this is not the way it's done. You can sit here and say it because you want it to be because they're Democrats, but unfortunately, it's just not the way it works. It's Gestapo tactics. And you know why? Because Clarence Thomas is going to suffer for it now because now they're going after a black man and they're going to lynch him because they've been trying to do that for 30 fucking years and now they're going after Thomas. I hope you're happy. Because that's what they're doing. You think it's a coincidence that 24 hours later that they're going to impeach Justice Thomas? Do you think that's a coincidence or payback? What do you think?
Payback.
No, it's part of the two. It's part of the two-tier justice system that we have going on in this country.
That's right.
Where so long as you happen to vote Democrat, then any problems that you've had in your past, those are quickly forgiven if never uncovered at all. But if you happen to lean right, and you're a conservative, well, then they're going to dig to their heart's content to find something that they can hold over you.
Correct. I love this. I love the spirited conversation. It's awesome. Olivia, go ahead.
Thomas Austin had something to say. He said surgical alteration should wait until 21 or above. And there's a reason why you can't get a tattoo until you're 18 because it's permanent. Right. And you can't undo it. So why should we allow children who are under the age of 18 to get sex changes and to get their penises cut off and their boobs cut off? Why? It's permanent. Because how many times do people go to college and change their major?
A lot.
How many people go into college and don't even know what they want to do, and they're already in college?
Hell, I know a 40-something-year-old woman who can't decide what the hell she wants for dinner every night.
Oh God! Well, I'm just sick of making freaking grocery lists. That's nothing to do. It's because I've got the pickiest family alive, and no one wants to eat the same thing.
We got to keep moving the show forward. No. We're stopping here. We're stopping here. We got to stop here. We're going to move to another topic. I don't mind keeping you on, but we got to move to another topic. We've got Gloria Johnson. Here's why this was stupid. Listen, I understand what you're all saying. I don't want decorum in our. But have you ever listened? You obviously don't watch C-SPAN. Because there's no decorum right now in our current status of things. I have not seen a hearing that does not basically break down into left versus right and petulance and screaming. That's the way it always is. Okay. So I don't know what decorum you're talking about, but this is why we got played, because the white woman who apologized and admitted she did wrong to the panel just fucking trolled the shit out of all of you and made y'all look like racists. A white person. This is optics, folks. And this is why, and maybe I should run a campaign, because I never would have allowed this to happen if I was in any way involved and said, guys, stop. Gloria Johnson, when you bring her back on, she's going to turn on you. This is what she wants. That's why she's apologizing. She's going to deny she apologized. She's going to deny she had contrition, and she's going to call you all racist. Watch what's going to happen. And this is exactly what she freaking did. Here it is.
And we're going to fight hard to get him back.
Gloria, why do you feel like there was a difference in the outcome between you and your colleague?
I will answer your question. It might have to do with the color of our skin.
What the hell does that?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter what it means. The point is that we all know what it means. It was a white person acknowledged open racism in legislature. It doesn't matter what party she's at. That is a soundbite that will be used in infamy in this is Tennessee. This isn't New York. This isn't Ohio. This is the Tennessee, which is still considered the South, that's moving through racism over the last 20 years, like all Southern states. This isn't a good look, y'all.
Yep.
I'm a few hours from Tennessee.
Okay. And you tell me, am I wrong?
No. No, you're not wrong.
Gloria Johnson, excuse me, that's not true, because that's not what was reported by the Republican body. They said she did show contrition and did show signs of remorse to them in private. That's what was said. She denied it later. But it's a perfect play. I would have done the same thing. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please don't let me go. I've got family. I've been here 30 years. I'll retire next year. Please. And then I would have went out the cameras and been like, man, these guys, a bunch of Kentucky Fried Chicken eating motherfuckers. They're the most racist people I've ever met in my life. They have Klan meetings every night. And this proves it right here, because I'm a white woman and they let me stay. Are you kidding me? Republicans should be so much smarter than this. Rhiannon, I'm going to cut you loose because I got Angel wants to come on. Say bye-bye, Rhiannon. Thank you for calling in. We love you.
Bye. Thanks for having me on.
Bye, Rhiannon.
See ya.
You're all amazing.
No, you're better. You're better. And don't be intimidated by me. I can't believe you said that.
No.
Don't be intimidated. Bye.
I'm going to sign off. I just want to
All right.
say,
All right.
All right, Mel.
Bye, Mel.
See you, Mel. All right. We got Alex and Angel coming.
Matt
Hold
and
on.
Olivia, you're doing the right thing at your dinner table.
We love you.
Mel.
We love you, Mel. Mel's amazing. Gotta love her. All right. So we've got two more calling in. Holy moly. We got everybody in here. Hold on a second. All right. We've got Angel. Holy God. Angel's in a huge picture window. Hold on. That was too big of a window. I was like, I saw.
You put Angel on top of me.
I literally did. All right. So we've got Alex and we got Angel. I want to get both of your opinions.
Good Friday.
It's good to see both of you guys. Happy Good Friday. If you celebrate, if you don't, you're a heathen. Wonderful to have you both here. Angel, what do you want to talk about? Stop covering your face, Angel. You're fine. What do you want to talk about?
I'm laughing. I'm sitting here thinking, well, that's what a lot of men dream of. Me on top of them.
I love her. I love her. She's so good. Angel, we love you. All right. So listen, hey, folks, we can agree and disagree, right? I understand. Listen, I get your frustration. I went through several emotions on this thing. The first time I was like, man, they should be out of here. I can't believe this guy's trying to sound like Malcolm X. What a fucking putz. It's not 1960. But then I was thinking about it and I said, optically, this just looks bad. There were so many other ways you could have handled this, right? You know what you could have done? You could have went in and invited 7 or 8 or 10 of those kids in, or even 50, and said, we're going to extend hours. We're going to order some fucking pizza, and we're going to be here till midnight until we hear their grievances. Let's hear what they have to say. Who are your representatives? You know what they would have done? Billy, come here. Billy, do you know why we're here? No, I don't fucking know why I'm here. I'm paid. Oh, Billy's going to talk. And they're, all right, Billy, what do you have to say? Nib high football rules. They would have no fucking idea. But that's how you do it. You don't do this. You go ahead and give them a quorum because they're citizens of this fucking state. Wake up. Angel, Alex, what are your thoughts?
I agree with you, Matt.
Oh,
it was taken way too far. It's got to be
harder than that. Angel, do you really think this? I mean, and was there anything good that came of this at all? Do you think?
No, not in the long run.
I don't think so.
Not in the long run. Not at all.
Hurts. Donald Trump's going to come out on Truth Social. You know what he's going to say? They should never be allowed again. This was huge. This was a big win for Republicans. We need to make sure they never get their seats back. And then you're going to be like, dude, we've got to stop looking stupid. Our party is smarter than this. The Democrats are so much better at this game than we are. They are so much better. Always, go ahead.
They're always like steps ahead of us. We're always so far behind. I'm not a Republican, but I am a conservative.
Right.
But we are like, when they changed those laws, they should have challenged that right away during COVID.
Yeah.
They didn't even try to do that.
No.
It's like they're always steps and steps and steps behind.
That's the point, is that Republicans, listen, the sad thing is that Democrats are much better at making us look like racist than we are actually showing America that they are racist. That's the difference. And it's not that they're racist every single day. It's that their policies are. They're better at redirecting what they're guilty of against us because we take the bait. It's simple. When someone goes, hey, you are the party of the KKK, that's fine. So you're saying Abraham Lincoln was the party of the Klan?
No.
They can't answer the question. Oh, the party switch. Really? Really? Then why did it take them? Why did it take them 20 years to vote for a Republican? Oh, no, it didn't. No, it did. Nixon go. No, that's not what happened. But see, the problem is, folks, is that's not what this is about. This is optics. You just took 2 black men in the South who were duly elected, and you removed them from legislation. You didn't suspend them. You removed, they cannot even go into session. You took 160,000 people and you silenced them. That is not a good look. Alex, what do you think about this crazy shit? Nice sweater. Is it still cold in Norway, for God's sakes?
It's a cold night there.
Okay. How's Norway doing? What do you think about all this?
Well, I think America's very fixated on race, so I'm quite stunned. I struggle to answer your question, to be honest with you.
Do you think we're ridiculous? I mean, just be honest. Are we ridiculous?
I think the situation that occurs can be considered quite ridiculous. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it. To be honest with you.
Well,
is this a new phenomenon or what?
Well, no. I think it's if you okay. So when you look at your country, what is the one thing that Norway is known for?
Skiing, oil and gas.
Yeah. I'm talking about the bad stuff, bro.
Okay. Well,
that you guys. Okay. Do you want to know what it is? This is America's opinion. You guys are pussies, right? That's you guys don't get involved. No, it's true. You guys don't get involved, and we have to go fight your battles for you. So you can't escape that part of your history. If you ever sit out of a battle and you didn't get involved in something, or you didn't truly do something, you can never escape. Like the Germans, like I had a German yell at me today, and he's like, "American sucks. They have no morals." I'm like, "This is coming from the fucking party that killed 11 million people." So, you'll never escape your past, and our past is rooted in slavery. It really is. We've done so much more, but the bad of the bad that America has done is nation building and slavery. That's really our 2 big things that we get hung around our necks all the time. And unfortunately, nobody wants to take accountability for it, and everybody wants to blame the other for it. Leroy, did you have something?
No, I was just
all
listening.
I do.
What, Liv?
Alex, I have a question. You being from Norway, are you guys laughing at the U.S. right now and what's going on, and looking at us and going, "Holy cow, how can they be a top power in the world?"
No, I mean, in much respects, we really like the America. I mean, like, you're not a laughing stock, but such situations, you being so fixated on race, is something that I personally open my eyes in disbelief on.
Yes, Amy, go ahead. This is a full panel. This is the best conversation we've had in a while. This is great. Go ahead, Amy.
So I feel very stupid but like I don't know a lot about Norway. I really don't. I don't think I even know anyone besides you, Alex, from Norway. I don't think
It's
I've
a
ever
part
met
of
anyone
Sweden.
from Norway.
I'm just fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you, Alex. I'm just fucking with you, buddy. That's like
Hey,
saying
Alex,
people
how
from
about
Haiti or
Finland?
that's like people from Haiti or from Puerto Rico or from Mexico. Puerto Rican
Yeah.
comes up and goes, "Hey, I'm Puerto Rican." I'm like, "Awesome, you're Mexican."
Yeah.
Not a good idea.
That's horrible.
So-
So I don't know what the population of your country is. I don't even know like what your what are you like? Are you importers, exporters? Like I don't know how you make your. I really know nothing about Norway. And I feel bad not
we
knowing
import and
anything.
export a lot.
Hey,
But,
Angel, can somebody mute their mic real quick? Angel, I got you. Hold on. I'm going to mute you up because you're putting out sound. I got you. Go ahead, Alex.
the population is around 5 million something, so it's fairly low compared to
Yeah, so
America's
I have
300
I
million.
like what's your demographics there? Like what are the different race and ethnicity? I can't say the word ethnicities and
Let's see. There's Scandinavian, right?
Yeah,
Right.
it's
Right.
Scandinavian, Scandinavian, Nordic,
And then hold on, and then Scandinavian, and then Scandinavian, and then I think there might be some more Scandinavian. I think there might be a couple of black people there too.
The only thing I know about Norway is that they dominate in the Olympics and the Winter Olympics when it comes to the snow sports.
And
your uniforms. Every Olympics has orange in it. That's
Yeah.
a lot of orange.
Look
That's
at my,
all
look
I
at my-
know.
look at my wife adding the now. Am I right? There's not a lot of ethnic diversity in Norway, or am I wrong?
It depends. Like they're situated more the east, but there are of course different
Yeah.
ethnicities scattered around the country, but it's more situated in the east around the capital. That's
And,
where
like
you'll
your
find
three
the
major exports, like one is wood, right? I mean, you guys are renowned for lumber
wood,
and
oil, gas, salmon,
Yep.
like the fish is
I
especially
love
the
that you say
fish.
salmon. I also say salmon.
What?
That's
salmon. Yeah.
You say something? Do we have a sound effect or something we could do? Do we have a stupid sound somewhere? Where's the idiot sound? Do we have an idiot sound? What do you say? Salmon?
I do.
It's salmon.
If there's
The
an
L
L in it,
silent.
I just
It's
pronounce
whatever.
it.
It's salmon. All right. So listen, everyone may or may not have heard, but Clarence Thomas is that a Jack Russell Terrier? Angel?
You gotta unmute her.
I know. I was looking for her to give me a head nod. Is that a Jack Russell Terrier?
It's a Jacoby. It's a Jack Russell Terrier and Beagle mix.
Oh, okay. That's so cute. All
Love
right.
it.
So real quick, this is Clarence Thomas. And look who is, Angel, I'm going to mute you because you got background sound. Look who's in front and center. Does anyone know who that is? Can anyone tell me who that guy is?
I can.
Olivia, go ahead.
Is that George Bush?
That's correct. It's George Bush. It's Joe Biden, folks. Joe Biden is front and center for the high-tech lynching of Clarence Thomas. Now, they've been going after Clarence Thomas for 32 years. And does anyone know why they're going after Clarence Thomas?
Yes.
Because he didn't need hair transplant plugs, whatever it's called. I don't
No,
know.
because
Go ahead, Leroy.
Okay, hold on. So Pro Republica was this group who broke the story, and they pointed out that Justice Thomas had taken a series of trips. He was a guest of a Texas billionaire who goes by the name of, I think it's Hallen Crow. Now, even though Crow had basically already testified and said that, the discussion of any of the current litigations had never come up, that didn't really matter. The point for the Dems was the fact that Justice Thomas got to go on all of these trips that were extremely expensive, like multi-million-dollar tabs. And the fact of the matter is the guy never really reported it. And so they're trying to use that against him as if to say, look, you were supposed to have come clean and reported this in some way, because you always said that you're the kind of guy that would hang around in Walmart like RV type centers instead of going off to spend, extravagant vacations on a beach somewhere in, Hawaii. And so that's what they're trying to get him for.
So no, that's the wrong answer. It's because he's black and he's not a Democrat. That's the right answer. But technically, Leroy is correct. These are the focus and trumped up charges now. This is what they want to do. Now, they've had this for quite a while. Leroy, I was teasing. Leroy is correct. That's exactly what they're going after him for. I'm just saying, you looked very, very dejected. You were right, Leroy. But my point is that they've been going after this guy for 32 years. The reason why they hate him so much is because he is a disloyal race traitor to the Democrat Party. Every black person on the planet has to be a Democrat. And if they're not, they're a race traitor, from Ben Carson to Kanye West to Clarence Thomas to Morgan Freeman to Denzel Washington. It doesn't matter who you are. If Candace Owens, if you are black and you are not a Democrat, you are a race traitor. And it's language that the Nazis use. And they don't say it out loud. Of course. But Joe Biden does with little things like, if you don't vote for me, and let me give you an example. Here it is.
Yeah. Perfect example.
Hold on.
I'm looking.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
I can show you hundreds, including 3 N-bombs dropped by Joe Biden, like he was saying, Nancy Nuggins has nucculent nib jobs. He just with the evermost grace dropping the N-word like it's no problem. Where he compares black children to roaches and little black children bouncing on his leg and playing with his leg hair. Here this is.
I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid.
Wrong one.
Oh my God. Our sound person. Come on, sound person.
I'm looking.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
That's a good one, but that's not it. Let's get to the roaches.
And by the way, I sit on the stand, and to get hot, I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down, so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
As we know. Let me explain something. This guy eulogized some of the biggest Klan cluckers and racists in U.S. history. Leroy, give me one. Let's see if you and I can name them all. Robert Byrd. George Wallace. Give me another one.
That's all I can think of.
Strom Thurmond.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Strom Thurmond, Wallace, Robert Byrd, and there was one other one.
Oh, got me on that one.
Can't remember the other
When
one.
you
It was
say
4.
it, we'll be like, yeah, that's who it was. Because
I know. I've said it 100 times, but here I want you guys to watch this. This is when Joe Biden led the high-tech lynching against Clarence Thomas. I have never heard anyone so passionate outside of Brett Kavanaugh when him and Squee were lifting weights and drinking suds and throwing a few brewskis back with Ski. Kavanaugh, which, I loved how pissed off Kavanaugh was, but you know what? Clarence already stole the light. Here it is. Watch this. Listen to this. And now they're coming after him again. Yeah, and they've been coming after him. This is the 7th time. And that's the thing about Democrats. They are literally like leeches. They latch on and suck you dry, and you pluck them off, and then they come back. And they don't care about the host. All they want to do is drain you of everything you have until you can no longer move. Here it is.
Committee will please come to order. Judge. Tough.
Now, I want to see if anyone hears Joe Biden stutter once. Because remember, he has a speech impediment, is what he says is why he's... Right.
Bring back the houndstooth suit.
That's a speech impediment. Yes, houndstooth. What did that look? I like small houndstooth. I don't like the big jigsaw houndstooth. I like it when it's condensed and it looks really cool.
We should bring back that suit. I want
I'm
one.
with you, Amy. Houndstooth's my favorite
All right,
pattern.
both of you shut up. We're not here to talk about houndstooth. Here we go.
Tough night for you, I know. Let me ask, do you have anything you'd like to say before we begin? I understand that...
You know what I would
God
like?
love
Yeah, I do.
Clarence Thomas.
You know what I would have done? I would be like, fuck you and don't ever run for president and ruin our country. That's what I want to tell you.
Your preference is, which is totally and completely understandable, that we go 1 hour tonight, 30 minutes on each side.
look at him.
Am I correct in that?
That's right.
Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Senator, I would like to start by saying unequivocally, uncategorically, that I deny each and every single allegation against me today that suggested in any way that I had conversations of a sexual nature or about pornographic material with Anita Hill, that I ever attempted to date her, that I ever had any personal sexual interest in her, or that I in any way ever harassed her.
Right.
A second, and I think more important point, I think that this today is a travesty. I think that it is disgusting. I think that this hearing should never occur in America. This is a case in which this sleaze, this dirt, was searched for by staffers of members of this committee, was then leaked to the media, and this committee and this body validated it and displayed it at prime time over our entire nation. How would any member on this committee, any person in this room, or any person in this country would like sleaze said about him or her in this fashion, or this?
And if you watch Teddy, I had 10 drinks, fucking Teddy Kennedy. Yeah. He was in a hole. I mean, you could see him doing this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's the son of a bitch that did it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he is the one of the most racist dicks and one of the most cheap, cowardly, scum-sucking, ball sweat, fucking gooch, dingleberry, stuck toilet paper to his bunghole douchebag ever to walk the earth. I'm sorry. Anybody that leaves a woman upside down in the car to die to save his political career doesn't deserve anything. Kind of sounds like your stalker, Amy. Say all that I said about him to your stalker. But you could see the people who were guilty going, oh, shit. This uppity black man is going to make us look stupid. And he did. He crushed him. It's one of the best speeches. One of the best impromptus. This was all impromptu. He didn't write this. This was just straight out of his freaking gullet.
Dirt.
I was going to say, I just respect him so much.
Me too.
I really do. I really love him. I just think he's one of those people that I would love to have over for dinner. And then not to distract from what he's saying, but next time you watch this video, please pay attention to the lady behind him.
In the houndstooth?
Yes, I love her.
This is what you don't do with houndstooth, right? All right. So I had a chance. I never met Clarence Thomas, but I did see him at the first tee at my dad's golf course when he was golf pro. So he showed up along with a few others. They had a pro-am with politicians, and I got to see him when I was very, very young. And I watched this whole thing. I love this. I live for this stuff. All right, here we go.
Dredged up in this gossip and these lies displayed in this manner. How would any person like it? The Supreme Court is not worth it. No job is worth it. I'm not here for that. I'm here for my name, my family, my life, and my integrity. I think something is dreadfully wrong with this country when any person in this free country would be subjected to this. This is not a closed room. There was an FBI investigation. This is not an opportunity to talk about difficult matters privately or in a closed environment. This is a circus. It's a national disgrace. And from my standpoint, as a black American, as far as
he added this. Okay, let me tell you, I can do what he does. I don't do it hardly as well as he does, but I can be saying something and I'm formulating my closing statement, right? I'm formulating how I'm going to put a bow on it to literally slam the door on people. And I'm decent at it. He's amazing, but I want you to watch his mannerisms. He wasn't going to say it as a black man, but he literally at this point was saying, fuck the SCOTUS seat. I don't want it. And that's when he wasn't going to say it. And then he's like, you know what? I'm not going to kowtow to these people. I'm going to tell them exactly what I think. And here it is. And here's the line. And watch him. You see him go back and he's like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to say it. And I freaking love his passion.
It's a national disgrace. And from my standpoint, as a black American, as far as I'm concerned, it is a high-tech lynching for uppity blacks who in any way deign to think for themselves, to do for themselves, right, to have different ideas. And it is a message that unless you kowtow to an old order, this is what will happen to you. You will be lynched, destroyed, caricatured by a committee of the U.S. Senate rather than hung from a tree.
Wow. One of the most powerful speeches ever in U.S. history. And like I back then, you know, I was young, right? So I don't even know. I was 17 years old, maybe. Yeah. My wife's going to correct me now. She's like 1991 minus 1974.
You were 17.
See, okay, thanks. See?
So you were right.
So I had to guess like 7 because I knew it's like, shit, I know him with them in 3 years. So I better just take away her power and just guess all 3. So I would have been like, slam dunk, Jordan fades back, 3-pointer, you know, but all right. Listen, I want to end on this and then I want to open up for 1 minute for everybody. And I appreciate everybody's patience. This one is, you need to see this. This is your supposed president who is supposedly a Catholic. Amy, get your butt on here. Hurry up. You got to see this.
Oh.
God bless America.
Did I click?
Holy cannoli.
God bless America.
I don't know. I'm having the trains pass. Not that we
so
live near
does
trains.
anyone want to pronounce for me PSALM who's religious? Anybody can chime in. Hold on. Wait. Wait. We got to get Angel in. Does anyone want to pronounce PSALM for me who's religious? We have Amy and we have all 3 hands. The ladies in the room all have. Okay, Angel, go ahead. Psalms. Not hard. The non-plural is psalm. So if it was PSALM, it'd be psalm. And if it had an S at the end, non-apostrophe, it's psalms. Right. I think everyone knows this. I think anybody who has been to, I'm going to mute you again, Angel. Anybody who has been to Bible school, anyone who's picked up a book, the good book, the first thing we say to our mom is, hey, Mom, what the hell is paslama?
Right.
Mom, what's paslama? And they're like, oh, honey, that's Psalms. So I want you to watch the Catholic leader of our inspirational and our theological progression into the kingdom of heaven, Joe fucking Biden, Mr. Baby Killer himself, who says that he is pro-death. I'm done calling it pro-choice because it's not a choice. If pro-life is over here, then most assuredly the antithetical other option is pro-death. So pro-deathers is my new term for them. I don't ever want to hear pro-choice again. Fuck pro-choice. You're pro-murder. Thank you so much. I want you to coin. I'm going to get a shirt. It's going to say, I'm pro-life, not pro-death. I'm going to make a shirt.
Oh, I like that.
I know. I like it too. So Joe fucking Biden, Mr. Catholic, right? Mr. I'm here, Mr. Ash Wednesday. This guy, this is the guy right here. Okay. I want you to listen and please try to maintain from laughing so we can hear this idiot. And yes, I'm done respecting the presidency. I'm done. I respect the presidency. If he walked in, I would stand up. I saw somebody not stand up in a restaurant. I think that's bullshit. You stand up. He's the president. I don't care. President enters the room, you fucking stand up. Okay? He's a commander in chief. I got to respect that. But I don't have to respect him. And I'm not. So the idiot says this. Here it is.
And if we do, and I'm sure we can proclaim the palmist. With the palmist who wrote. The palmist. With the palmist who wrote these following words. The Lord is my strength and my shield. With the palmist who wrote these following words.
The rosy palmist. I love my rosy palmist got me through high school.
Is that his palm reader?
my rosy palmist took care of me like no other. My Rosie Palm and her 5 sisters always took care of me. I want to honor the palmist on this Good Friday. What the fuck? This is the president of the United States. The palmist. First of all, there's no such word as the palmist isn't a word. It's not a word. And if you're Mr. Catholic, if you're literally one step removed from the fucking Pope, how do you not know what Psalms is?
I knew how to pronounce Psalms when I was like in 2nd and 3rd grade. I mean, my God.
Alex, you have religion in Norway, right?
Mm-hmm. No, they're heathens.
Excellent.
I feel like I need to learn about Norway. What's the predominant religion in Norway?
Satanism. Satanism.
What did he say?
They sacrifice goats. Wait. It's what?
Protestantism. Christian Protestantism.
He's
Protestant.
He's a Protestant. Right. He's kind of religious. Protestant.
Sort of.
Okay.
Yeah. They're like religious.
Protestants are kind of religious, right? They're kind of like, they take it seriously until they don't have to. That's fine. Protestant.
They're lights. We call them like religious lights.
Right. It's like Diet Coke. Actually, it's like Coke Zero. It's not like Diet Coke. It's like Coke Zero.
It's not like that. It's
dude, Alex, we're busting your balls.
We're just fucking with you. Sorry.
They make you wear sweaters like that, and that is a rock in church in my eyes because I love that sweater, dude. Every time you rock those, reminds me of Christmas, dude. Anytime I want to feel Christmassy, I call you. All right, Angel, do you have something to say about palmist?
I've studied many religions. I don't believe in organized religion. Sorry, Amy. But I do believe that there are bits and pieces of each religion that if you put it all together, you get the complete truth.
Oh, I think everyone should read multiple denominations of Bibles to get a different perspective. I have.
Yeah, I've read a lot of them. I love theology.
But I love Psalms. I love Psalms, and I love.
You're not a palmist, dude. I'm making a shirt. You know what it's gonna say?
Palmist.
It's gonna say palmist, and it's gonna have the semicolon and everything, and then like scripture underneath, like I love ice cream. Palmist 10 or 126. All right, Angel, I gotta let you go.
I love kids sitting on my lap.
I love kids sitting. All right, wait. I need to let Angel have her minute because her feedback is killing me.
On my lap.
Angel, you got 1 minute. Can you turn down your? Is there any way? Because no.
I have tried and tried and tried.
All right, just give me your 30 seconds and tell me. Just give me your 30 seconds because we're checking everybody off. Go, give me your 30.
This was a great night. I'm glad I felt well enough to be awake, and I love you guys all.
We love you too, buddy. You are the best. You are always the best. We love you, Angel. Thanks, sweetie. Bye.
Yes, thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
She's a rock star. She's been here since the beginning. She's awesome. Alex, my Norwegian brother, you've let me pick on you tonight, and I've missed you, man. I hope you're doing well. You got 1 minute. Was there something specifically you wanted to talk about, or did you just want to go ahead and just hang up rudely like you always do?
I'm not being rude. I'm checking out respectfully.
I know. You're hey.
No. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, Ukraine looks pretty bad, dude. That looks like they're going to be done any day now. They're getting hammered and pretty beat up. Any thoughts on that?
I haven't looked into it. I haven't had the time to look into it.
Okay.
So
it's my understanding from a couple of good sources that Ukraine is on the verge. Like they're not doing too well. So that like to the point where there's going to be nothing to go back to. Like that's the level of damage that's occurring.
That's
is
the
that
Russians' tragedy?
Yeah, just destroy it.
Then Moldova is probably next. That's
No,
my,
then Joe Biden's going to get the contracts to his friends to rebuild it. If anyone thinks that that's not going to happen, I've got a bridge to sell you. Because I swear to God, once they flatten Ukraine and the peace treaty is brokered, Joe Biden's friends will get the contract and Joe will get $150 million himself on kickbacks. Watch. It's the George Bush two-step in Halliburton. This is government, dude. It's the most corrupt thing in the world. Alex, I love you, buddy. Come on back next show.
Bye, Alex.
I hope you're doing well, buddy.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, later. Olivia. I am literally texting you like why I texted that picture. I'm sorry. It's like
it's adorable.
Is it nude? Wait, what is it? Wait, hold on.
No.
Oh, we got to share. No. What?
I just open up the text. She texted it to group chat.
Open up the text.
Hold on. Texted it to group chat.
Holy crap! I didn't.
It's adorable.
Oh, I didn't see it. Oh, that cake.
Did your daughter decorate it?
Look at this. That's just the little bunny I was looking for.
I was going to use it for my last minute of like, this is what my children made.
Did you make this?
I had no parts of it at all, unfortunately.
Oh, it's adorable.
I can't take any credit for it other than I got to eat.
Are those jelly beans or grapes for the eyes?
It's actually dark chocolate.
Oh, this isn't that bad. I mean, you didn't dirty ice the cake. I'm a little disappointed you didn't dirty ice it so you can get a better.
I made by a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old.
Well, you better tell them to get their shit together. So come over to Uncle Matt's house and I'll teach them how to dirty ice a cake.
Yeah.
It looks great. It looks great. I'm teasing. It looks fantastic.
You're amazing.
Thank you for your 1 minute. Do we have picture show time from Leroy? Do you have anything you want to share with us, Lee?
No. In terms of pictures, no, but I do have something to add.
Sure, buddy.
You know, so when we're talking about Joe and when we're talking about Kamala and their war, basically, for however you want to word it, whether or not you call it reproductive rights or, you know, pro-choice, whatever the hell you want to call it, they have both. They have both misquoted the Declaration of Independence multiple times, and they always seem to omit the word life. You know, we hold these truths to be self-evident. Joe Biden can't even get through that part without going, you know the thing.
Kamala, the thing.
Kamala intentionally.
Wait.
Hold on. Hey, Olivia.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
And there's a reason. There's a reason they do that, because they know that if they have to recite the entire thing, right up to the word life, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they're endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life,
liberty,
right?
They don't.
And the pursuit of happiness. Wonder Twin powers. Activate. Get the fuck in the game.
My point is that they can't recite that much of it, because if they do, then they know they have to do this moral gymnastics in order to somehow justify their position on pro-choice. That's my point, is that they can't even read a simple document that is the cornerstone of the reason this country is here to begin with, because it conflicts with what they're fighting for. It's a moral trap. Anyway, that's all I had.
I was very, very well stated. I was very impressed. I'm a little disappointed we missed on the Wonder Twin powers activate thing. I think we all should have put our magic rings.
We can dock later if you like.
Just saying we should. I am the power of a bucket of water. A bucket of fucking water. Is that the best you can do?
Bucket of water.
This person's like, I'm going to be a monkey, a blue whale. I'm going to be a rhinoceros. What are you going to be? I'm going to be a Band-Aid. You want to be a Band-Aid? Listen, Bill, we need to have a conversation about your Wonder Twin powers. You suck.
There's
always that one person who was.
I don't even know what the Wonder Twins are.
Justice League, man. Justice League. What the hell's
I never
wrong
watched
with you?
it.
Oh, you're fired. You're fired. You're too. Go ahead.
I never
Amy.
watched it either, and I know nothing
Shut
about
up,
this
Amy.
stuff. But
Amy,
I
we
knew
don't
what
want to talk to you
I knew what it
anymore.
was,
We're
at
done.
least. I don't know all the ins and outs.
You know what? Your stalker's right. Okay. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Like, don't you get pissy? I was joking. I love you. He's a dick. The Wonder Twin powers, folks. Justice League. and they had Superman and Aquaman and Hawkman, and they had all those characters.
Is Wonder Woman there?
And then there was the Wonder Twins. And the Wonder Twins had special rings, and they looked like Vulcans, like Spock, and they wore purple flamboyant outfits. They're kind of like the ambiguously gay duo, but not quite duo. And they would
like
have
the Krasnstein
God,
brothers.
would you stop it? They had a monkey, and then they would hit their rings together, and they would say, "Wonder Twin powers, activate!" And then they would push them together. And like, I am the power of a screaming eagle. And the other person would be like, I am the power of egg beaters. And you're like, egg beaters? The fuck is wrong with you being egg beaters? Like, you could be a bomb or a missile, but the Wonder Twin powers are pretty cool. It was a twin brother and sister. Does anyone not remember this? Leroy?
I grew up with it.
I
knew exactly what the hell you're talking about.
Amy, Matt, and Leroy are much
If
older
I ever
than
get
us.
down there and we go
Before our
like trick or
time.
treating together, like if we go to a costume party, I swear we can dress up that way if you feel
Dude, I'm pulling it up right now before we
I
go.
think you guys should dress up that way, and that could be what month are we in now? April. That could be the calendar for the Donut Friend 2 calendar.
Oh, we need to make a Don't Unfriend Me calendar.
Please, can we?
Oh, Leroy.
What we really need to do? What we really need to do? We need to go into that abortion clinic and say we're here for our abortion.
Yes.
I'm here for my abortion.
I am making that shirt. I'm going to make the Palmas shirt, and I'm making the pro life. I'm pro life, not pro murder, and I'm sure that's going to piss off a few people. Here it is, folks. You wanted to see it.
It looks like Spock and Spock's sister.
Well, I just said that. I said they look like Vulcans.
Oh.
So here it is. So we can all enjoy this together. All right, here it is. Watch this, folks.
It's going to be better than that.
The Wonder Twins are about to enjoy lunch at a local deli.
Jupiter, it's the Teen Trouble Alert.
Attention, Wonder Twins. A teenage couple was parked on Makeout Mountain when their brakes gave way and their car is precariously
Is that a blue monkey?
We'll get right on it.
I have it up really high, so you guys can't talk right now.
Pregnant Point. You know, next to Copperfield Canyon.
Oh, yeah. We've got to save those kids from going over that cliff.
And from going over the cliff of being sexually active before they're mature enough to handle it. Wonder Twin powers, activate!
Pregnant Point.
You guys got to keep it down. It's up too loud. See? Water. Bucket of fucking water. Didn't I tell you?
We've got to hurry.
I'm flapping as fast as I can, Wonder Brother. What's that? Another eagle's on our tail.
Don't look now, Super Sis, but I think he's after your tail.
Shoo, Eagle! Shoo! I have no time for a bird booty call.
Booty call.
About 30 to 45 minutes later at Make.
All right, before we get copyright.
Oh my gosh.
Before we get copyright struck, that's a spoof of it, right? That's obviously not anything that So if you guys don't remember the ambiguously gay duo on Saturday Night Live?
Yes.
Basically the Krassenstein brothers.
Yeah.
They made it after the Wonder Twins. Folks, this has been the Don't Unfriend Me show. My wonderful friends and hosts, my wife Olivia, who she'll pop up her little picture here and say has been awesome. It's great to have her here. Olivia, I will tell you, and I'm just being serious there, is that Leroy and Amy are very often get my feedback in a positive fashion. But I will tell you, since you started, I've been really surprised, and I don't mean to make this sound like a backhanded compliment, so please don't take it that way. But it's hard for me to give proper compliments, so you might take it this way. But I've been very, very shocked and surprised at how good your points really are, and something that I have not thought of. And and I'm not sucking ass here. I will later, but I sincerely, I mean this with everything in my soul. Like every night you hit something and I'm like, God, I didn't think of it that way. That's really a good point. And I've come to expect that from Amy and Leroy, but I just want to encourage you that as soon as you can get on camera and get over your narcissistic bullshit, we would love to have you on, because you're amazing and you crush it and you're doing a great job. Or if you just want to stay there and look beautiful and only have me look at you, I'm fine with that too.
Well, if I'm on camera, I can't flash my titties to you every once in a while.
Damn it.
All right, folks, that's my cue. We got to go. Good night, everybody. We're out of here. I got to go have sex. Amy, we love you. Hey, tell Stalker Boy. See you later, boy. I can't stand this guy. I'm so.
Amy, you're gonna have to share the what the hell you know. Share it in text later. I'd be curious to know if
we need to get together for coffee. You just got to come down here, Leroy.
Leroy, when's it going to happen, dude? I mean, seriously, you went to New Mexico of all places, the biggest shithole on earth. When are you going to come here?
Soon enough.
Leroy, if I send you a video of my guest room and how amazing it is, like you have your own bathroom.
Whoa. You're sending videos?
Refrigerator.
We have a guest room here too.
Yeah, we have a guest room too. What's wrong with our guest room? What are we, white trash, Amy?
Ethan's been asking.
But that has nothing to do with it.
That's right. That's true. It's a great point. Well
We're just
struck.
gonna fight over you, Leroy.
Well struck. But yeah, Leroy would love to have. Seriously, we need to do it. We need to get together. I'd love to do a remote show, get a campfire, set up a couple cameras, and just literally do a fireside chat. Do for like 3 or 4 hours and just get a bottle and just record the whole damn thing. Folks, do me a favor. You can go find here. Do your. Not yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jump in the freaking gun.
The spiel. So I put it up.
Premature videocation. Amy, do this. So we've got the shirt for you.
That's a little different with her doing it.
Yeah, you're supposed to go like this. So we've got the red shirt. We've got the 22 a day shirt. Folks, we've got some really cool stuff. Some new clothes will be here actually tomorrow. I've got the awake but not woke. We've got the new assault gun, assault rifle, assault weapon. That's going to be in the mail. And then the Come and Take It Schoolhouse Rock is available. Stop by the Don't Unfriend Me site. If you join on the bottom of your phone right here on your scroll, you'll see a little teal button that says subscribe. Click on that button. It's $1.99. You join the Dumb Nation group. We've gained 10 members in like the last few days because we've been talking about it. If you click on that, it's $1.99. You save 15% off the store. And there's some great shit on there. There's glassware, there's phones, there's shirts, sweaters, long sleeve hats, vibrators, dongs, pretty much everything you could fulfill an evening full of fun. It's there for you. And we would appreciate if you would stop by. Folks, we'll be back Monday. I will have, over the weekend, I have been adding the bonus videos. You've all kind of seen those. They're little black, white, blue little bonuses. I'm doing those every morning. Yep. Every Saturday and Sunday. They will
share those too. Eventually, what I would love to see is like enough of those videos that have gone out and have been posted and shared on like left-leaning sites that it just inflames anyone. And then the next thing you know, we get a string of phone calls where we can actually have like mean debates.
Can I be honest with you guys? The overall interaction because of Twitter has been incredible. Twitter is really feeding the site. Like the podcast is now up to 1,500 listeners a day. We just hit 75,000 downloads on the podcast. That's pretty huge. And then on Spotify, I think we have 900 listeners. So almost 2,000 listeners a day. That's better than Facebook. So the podcast is starting to grow. So everything's just kind of doing its thing. I appreciate the interaction. It's great. Olivia's been awesome. Amy, Leroy, we love you guys. I love your backdrop. People were wondering if you were in a safe house.
Yes.
So I'm going to show them what it looks like because they don't know. This is what Leroy's backdrop. I made him his own backdrop. So it's the Don't Unfriend Me show. There's the logo in the window, and then right where the dumb show is, it says Leroy Jenkins behind him on the wood. So I made him a little other way. Shipped it. There you go. You're military, right? So there it is, folks. Yeah. So that's what we're doing.
I love it.
Break my balls.
I always. Water is wet, sky's blue, grass is green, and Joe Biden's stupid. All right, folks, good night. We will see you Monday. I'll see you Saturday morning and Sunday with a new bonus show. Good night.
Good night, y'all.
Love you guys. Please listen to this.
Happy Good Friday. I don't know if that's a thing you say.
Happy Palmas Day, folks. Happy Palmas Day.
That's going to be a new thing.
Happy Palmas Day.
Matt, go take care of those eggs.
Everybody.
Oh. Hey. Scrambled her over easy. I don't want to. No, we don't want to do that. We don't want another child.
No more babies.
No more babies. But the process of not making them is just fantastic. Good night, everybody. We love you. We'll see you later. Good night.
All right.
I'm David Boreanaz with the cast of SEAL
Love you
Team.
guys.
And we have an important message for returning vets. We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help and it's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
There's no greater sacrifice in service to our country. We're able to enjoy our freedoms because of it.
Your service is important. You are important. For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help 24 hours.
Olivia, put your pants on. Holy shnikes. You need to screw it into the wall. Screw it into the wall? What are you talking about? The light? Oh my gosh. Folks, she's got some serious, serious problems. We know we're on a hot mic. We're just teasing. Good night, everybody. I'm looking for the closing video. I can't find it. Here it is. Bye.